One man, Reynolds, that we'd like to talk about. What a senior day, return to the senior side for RJ Watson, only 20 years old, spent some time away over in Adelaide, but came back. 40 disposals he had here, and just listen to these numbers as well. 85% efficiency, 12 marks, 4 clearances, 4 inside 50s, 9 rebounds 50, 2 goals, and 103 ranking points. Of course, that's brought to you by the team at Premier Data. Gee, what a performance from the young man.
Oh, he's an absolute star. You could see even from a really young age that RJ was going to be a brilliant footballer. He's a big body, he's very agile, but to be able to do that against a real quality side like Robinvale Euston last weekend is huge, and that's the breakout of breakout games. Last year we spoke about Elijah Brown having his breakout game. It was early in the year, and I think he kicked 4 and had 30-odd. That was RJ's, and I'm excited to see what he does today, DFAB.
Yeah, he had the 14 senior games in 2022 as a youngster. Then he moved to Bendigo, obviously being part of the Pioneers setup, and actually went from there to North Hobart, so a bit of Tassie State League level, which is a high standard. And then last year he was playing Adelaide Footy League and had 3 games for Norwood Reserve, so has played at a pretty high level around the traps, and has come home now, and obviously is a key addition to compensate for the changes that Mildura have had since their grand final.
We talked a lot in last week's game between Merbein and Owen United about the Sandford talent that has filtered through, and there's going to be some good ones here for Mildura today as well. Of course, the main one looking at is Luke Reynolds, the veteran key forward, straight out of Glenelg, the Sandford. 266 games in 266 goals in 150 games for the Tigers over there, and of course, had previously played for Port Adelaide, the Magpies as well. Absolutely. And Zane Bubner, the key utility, who joined from Henley in the Adelaide Footy League. Again, nothing to be sneezed at there in terms of quality. Originally from Clarence in Tasmania, but played 42 Sandford games for Central Districts as well.
Yeah, absolute stars, and we're really lucky to be able to get them, especially Reynolds coming over. I know the guys at Mildura were really keen to try and get him to make this switch over. And as you said, we've been spoiled for choice. Not only were we getting players, used to get players that have played a really good chunk of league footy, but majority of probably reserve grade footy over in the Sandford. We're actually getting stars from the Sandford coming over here now, and Reynolds, he was an absolute star
as well. So a few players they've had to replace going through.
Yeah, no John O'Lee, no Josh Goss, no Tanner Deckett, no Jesse Gosman, and all up there's 10 players in today's side that weren't in the grand final side, so quite a bit of turnover there, and that's why some of these new additions are going to be the ones that we're keeping an eye on to see how they progress their lineup.
Might just see if we can take some of this audio here from the flag raising ceremony.
To our players, you set the standard with the rest of the league. To our coaches, support staff, volunteers, and supporters, this achievement belongs to you as much as anyone. But while we celebrate today, we also know that you see the other way. The challenge now is to carry that same hunger and teamwork attitude into the season ahead. Let's enjoy this moment, honour what was achieved, and get ready to go again. I'd like to invite 2025 Premiership player Josh Dean and long-time head trainer Dave Dale to come forward. Josh, now retired as a Premiership player at both Mildura and Wentworth. He represents the on-field, hard work, commitment, dedication required to win a position. Dave represents all of our off-field volunteers who put in countless hours to ensure the club runs smoothly and our players are well looked after. Josh and Dave, now about the flag. Thanks, Josh. Just before we go to the umpires for the coin toss, I'd like to acknowledge elders, life member, who is in the grandstand today, Muriel Hooper, who put your hands together to film. And the umpires do the coin toss.
That's the flag raising ceremony done there. About to have the coin toss, of course, co-captains for Wentworth, Jack Cottrell and Andy Wall. Mitch Rogerson, of course, the premiership skipper for the D's. While Mick Brewell flicks the coin up. And it's going to go the way of the visitors, and they're going to head towards the San Mateo Avenue and the left of your radio dial here on Hot FM. Of course, also g'day to anyone who's listening in on the simulcast through SFNL live streaming here today. That's a great game. Both teams out into the middle of the ground. Siren sounds, and we're underway here on Hot FM. Round 3 of Sunration footy action. First quarter brought to you by the Houston Club Resort as the veteran Jensen gets it down for Wentworth. Scramble, still in the centre square. Ball pinballing around, upright says give it to me. We'll throw it up again. Of course, here, thanks to Colin Tandy, First National or Real Estate. Big man Dane Brace, who was outstanding in the grand final day last year for Mildura. Looks like he's taking the first ruck role in the absence of John O'Leary.
Oh, he's ready for it. He was second depth on the ground last year, in my opinion.
Throw back up, Jensen gets the tap down this time. Still got some pretty good players at his feet. Quick hands out, works here. Edwards, nice handball over the top here from McDonald. Tries to put on the afterburners, shrugs off. Would-be tackle from Loveday. Spins, goes back inside 50, a little bit much on it. The chaos ball may work at the back. A chance for the D's to clean up. They've got the numbers advantage. It's a nice tackle pressure inside 450 there for the Roos. Will hold it up, but pretty handy stat for them last week too. They had 12 inside 50 tackles for the Roos last week as well. So even though they were down on the scoreboard, the pressure was there.
Boy out of the ruck there.
And snap just goes across the face.
One score on the board there for the Roos.
Great to see Harry Howe back as well. I mean, he's really battled with some injuries over the last couple of seasons, and he's going to be crucial to them. A couple of years ago, I thought that he probably nearly cost the play when he did.
So a chance here for the D's to come back in. Long kick out of defence. Doesn't quite hit the intended target of Brody Jones across the boundary line. Get a throw in. Cumula Club scoreboard, one behind on the board for Wentworth. Mildura yet to score. A minute and a half in to your round 3 match of the day.
As we see on the forward flank, Grace tries to tap down to himself. He grabs it, could have been caught, gives it out wide for Mitchie Rogerson, who has a running player on the outside. Kick to centre wing, leading to the contest is Keeler. Mildura quickly tackled. Ball spills down. Only as far as there. That's a beautiful Reynolds up there as Reynolds kicks with the left foot, looking for Kerridge inside 50. He's got a bit of work to do. Tries to give a handball, but it's quickly cut off by Parker. So Parker with the rebound kick goes to the unfinished stencil of the Mildura Football Club logo. Quickly picked up again, finding Zach McDonald on his favourite part of the ground here on centre wing. Good
footwork from Tarantino, who gets the 1-2. Kick inside 50 to Ripper. Just kept it down. Mark taken by Elijah Brown.
This UVG Tarantino. He's certainly bulked up in the legs and shoulders. So
he's worked hard. Of course, he ended up missing most of the finals last year too. So I reckon he probably had a bit of a chip on his shoulder coming in 2026. Said Elijah Brown will break out campaign for him in 2025. Tightish angle, be just inside the 50-metre arc. Looks okay off the boot, but curls left, still in the field of play. Coupled across the line for a rush behind from Lockie Murdoch. 1-1 on the Cumula Club scoreboard. 3 minutes gone in this opening.
Interestingly, it was actually in all that's playing there on Elijah Brown, so I'll tell you what, that is a fair handicap. As it's letting the ball go to the wall. Ball has a ball punched down by Morello.
Over the shoulder.
Walker. So it's going to be a free kick to Andy Wall, centre half back, on this beautiful Brian Wakeman oval. He's scanning his options. There's nothing really presenting, so he's going to go wide. Finds Campbell Davison. Had a great year last year on half back. Wakeboard King. He's the Wakeboard King. So he goes with another short kick. Doesn't make the distance to Wall. So Wall elects to play on. He goes short, but it's a hurried kick that's quickly cut off. Players there in Nolan going down is also Carter. And the ball's going to be held up on centre wing for another ball up. But they just looked around with the cross half back there, Dave.
Mildura really well set up. The one-on-one contests were all fairly tight, so there wasn't really an option that was in any space.
So Jensen with the tap down looking for Carter there for Wentworth. Offhand is going to be a free for holding the ball. And they're going to take advantage, Nolan. Right foot kick looks pretty good for Kerridge. Great pick up there from Brown. Check side! What a way to get the first off the day. Elijah Brown splits the uprights. And Mildura take the lead for the first time today. 1-1-7. Wentworth one behind the Cumula Club scoreboard. 4 minutes gone in this opening term on Hot FM footy, and it's a proper Crummers goal deep.
Yeah, some players, when compare their step shots to their free flowing play, you can see them side by side. But they're able to play a bit more naturally, what can happen, and that was those two shots on goal were probably the example of
Yeah,
that.
exactly. It was virtually intentional there off the ground. Couldn't bend down quick enough to pick it up, so it was actually just a little boot. Really smart play there by Kerridge, but just in the right spot, front and centre for a crummer.
Yeah, a little unlucky actually for Ken Babs. It looked like he was in the right spot, just carried over. It did, just went to his direct opponent. It might be a free. Yeah, it wasn't pushed. It's a free going on the way of Wentworth at half forward. I'm going to try midway forward, and the throw didn't carry the distance.
That was insane. So it's going to be a Harvey Vandenberg, and this is his first touch in senior footy, and he has now been gifted. His first kick is going to be at the top of the goal square. And as you said, just an errant piece of discipline there that sees Harvey Vandenberg lining up with his first kick.
I like 2D back. It's gone with more of the socks up sort of operation. I always enjoy that. First kick, first goal, club. Oh, no! It's smothered on the mark. Got a little too close. The defender, Ben Hurley, did well. Meanwhile, it's still been turned over in defence. Wentworth going to go back again. Carter's kick also smothered. Mildura player caught one high.
And again with the grills.
Yeah, might have been the arm was just hanging out a little while. Free kick's going to go the way of RJ Watson, who had a terrific return with these colours last week.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So RJ Watson goes out to the scoreboard side, finds our previous goal kicker Elijah Brown. So on centre wing, he looks to go short again with a nice little leading option. The ball's punched from behind by the infringed player there in Blaine Grills, and it's going to be another ball up on centre wing, this time on the other side of the oval.
Another great return decap for the guy who was on the lead there, Will DeRosa, of course, missed all of last year with injury, 3 goals in his return for 7 years.
Yes, both Torontos were in the best last week for these.
At the back of the pack here, RJ Watson, little handball. It's off hands. Oh, great run down tackle. In fact, that was Watson there who pulled down McDonald. He's doing the defensive stuff as well, the youngster.
Looking good,
Covering the ground really nicely. Little kick inside, just hanging a little bit high for Nolan, but it's going to work at the back here for Brown. Kick down low is nice. Finds Reynolds, centre of Ryan Waitman over. Left foot kick inside. He's up here, over the back. Carries the pack, running to an open goal square, dribbles it through, and a goal there for the D's. I think it's Keel who's put it through the middle, and that was proper stuff there for the D's. But all started with that tackle for Watson at half-back. 2-1-13 for Mildura. Wentworth one behind on the Coombe Club.
Yeah, with fast ball movement there for these, and the kick inside 50 just carried to the back of the pack and had the player at the back take it in.
Well, that's twice now Reynolds has had an inside 50, so he's got that penetrating left foot, but really smartly read there by Max Keeley. Saw that the ball was going over the back. The other players went to the front of the contest, and he had an easy mark and run an easy goal.
He's starting more at centre half forward too, Reynolds, dragging the ball away from the contest, whereas Kerridge stunning as deep as he was, the kill next to him as well. So it's going to be quite versatile, that Mildura forward line. Grace with the tap down, he's Brown again. Off hands, in fact, is McDonald. Rogerson. Kick goes wide, but still dribbles inside 50. Kerridge was leading the race. He's got some company out there in Murdoch.
It's intriguing. Murdoch's playing so deep back at the moment. He's such a silky player. His name is Silk, but he's playing on Max Kill, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I'd probably be giving him a bit more into the actual cross half back and use that beautiful kick that he has to be able to set up some play.
Back into the field of play. Grace over the back. Wall shrugs the tackle and gets a kick forward. More in hope than anything. Leary's hands were good. Zach DeRosa back off to Lando. Just spirals inside 50. And he read that perfectly. Absolutely, like a kid's picture book. He got every word right. Landed straight in the bread basket and will have the set shot directly in front, 35 metres out.
Yeah, it's nice signs early from the recruit here from the D's, and that was a good one-on-one body work to just make sure it was all hit.
Well, for the listeners at home, he looks like Noel Pecoraro. He just kicks with the opposite foot, so he's a left footer, but he's going to be kicking 35 metres out directly in front. Comes in very laconically, and he just spears it through. The umpire does not move. Welcome to Ryan Waitman Oval. Gee, we just talked about getting words wrong with the picture book. But no, he's just he's gone back with the contest there. He's gone back with the pack. He's the only one who really kept eyes on the ball. But at the very last minute, has nothing else to still be able to push out and get that and then turn around and grab it at the right time. So he's a very, very classy player.
Someone's about going through the very hungry caterpillar coming through.
Yeah, look, I've got all the shoes right. We count the number of feet, but the word got mixed up.
3-1-19 for Mildura. Wentworth one behind. Coombe Club scoreboard. And Grace takes it out of the middle. Lowers the eyes nicely. The short kick works here. Then we'll be DeRosa at half forward. Zach Short kick inside 50 is well worked in. D's will have another set shot goal here.
Okay, what's he doing it down the other end here? It looks like.
Like volunteering First National Real Estate for Tony Bulmer will get a score off that from around the grounds from deep in just a minute. Watson. So 40 touches, 2 goals.
Massive hole here, and he goes, elects to go for the leading player, and looks like McDonald, the ball spills down the ground. They've got players all over. It could have been taken high, and that could possibly be a free kick going to Will Rosa. The only real one who wanted the footy, 3 players came in to try and tackle him, but he just dropped the knees at the right time, got taken high, and he's going to be kicking from the sliding. Look at about 45 metres out there.
Back around the grounds.
On report 2-1-13, have hit the scoreboard against Birmingham. We get to score. That's the only effect so far.
Thank you for that, deep bat. As DeRosa, as we said, 3 goals on his return to senior footy last week. It's wide off the boot, the back of the pack carriage. Hit the ball behind post. Yeah, didn't know whether it came off hands. I think the central arc.
Going up to the don't go on.
I think he's going to be the only throw-in. He's off the fingertips. I think of carriage coming over the back. So, not a bad position here for the D's. Tucked up against the right goal post. Thrown in. Reynolds in the ruck.
We'll get it out. I'm going to get a kick as far as 3 Mildura players.
Leo at the back. Snaps it towards goal. Scatty was agricultural on the last line, but works okay. Edwards. Nicely weighted. Tyres making some room, and G pulled up really solid. Although he looks like he's moving okay now, so maybe just a cramp. Little kick down the line.
By Walker and Mildura.
It's going to set across the boundary line. In Wentworth, interchange gates. 3-1-19 are the Demons. One behind for the Brews. Gone. 10 minutes in. Quickly to him here. What a fair observation.
Centre wing, boundary throw in. Jensen and Grace. Grace flies over the top and spreads out of the ruck by Jensen. Quickly taken by Elijah Brown. Yeah, beautiful play. Tries to handball forward only as far as Blake Drills, but he's going to get a free kick here. It was impinged, thrown off the ball after he disposed of it. So on centre wing, Elijah Brown has been active early. It's a wobbly kick towards the top of the 50. It's a cannonball kick that really helps nobody. Bending down is big Nick Jensen. He tries to get the ball out to a teammate. Tackled, but it's just cleared out of the contest by Scatty. Now Edwards, he's got a couple of beats, so can he get the handball out quickly enough to a teammate coming past him? Grills, he does. Grills has got Grace right on him. And Grace is happy to just rugby tackle him right over the boundary line here at half forward.
He's got another around the grounds for Mildura. United 2-2-14, leading Red Cliffs 1-1-7 at home.
Thanks to that deep bat. The pressure for the Demons has been right up there in this opening term. Tapped down by Jensen. No clear space for anyone in this contest. Brown met head on. He'll be taken down.
So what Grace seems like he's loving the new ruck rules where they're trying to encourage the leapers because he's leaping at every opportunity he gets.
Absolutely flying over the top of big man Jensen, though when Ruckman gets it down to Baird, he did duck into it but still copped it over the top. His first game in senior colours for Wentworth last week after crossing from goal, former Original Junior. Wheels and goes from half back.
Risky kick.
He's looking for Al, I think he's pushed out of the way. So it's going to be a free kick going away. The Roos right in the centre of the ground. Buchner giving that one away. In fact, it's Duck who's got it.
Oh, great kick to Brander on half forward.
Found some space
forward. He's at half forward on the outside. He looks to go inside, finds a teammate. That looks like it's Much. So Much creeps forward, tries to kick long inside 50. The ball beats everyone over the back. And with a quick little handball looking for a teammate was Harry Ware, and he missed everyone. But still in a really good position here for Wentworth. They're 5 metres around from their right-hand point post. So they'll be happy to go and get a boundary throw in here and be able to reset.
I think technically the second inside 50 deep, although they first came from a 50-metre penalty. Mildura looked to bring it out of defence. Zach DeRosa. Looping handball, McDonald makes it work. The kick inside's beautifully weighted. A chance here for the D's. Reynolds. Centre wing, looks for the option in carriage, weighted perfectly, dropped the mark, umpire blew the whistle but said play on. Had to retreat back to the ruckman in Grace. Let's go back further again, Lando's got some space. Down the line for Keel, Murdoch, great sport, follows up at ground level 2 to the man. Just gets the kick away, now McDonald can get the clearance going. Davison, looking for the overlap run, kicked forward by McDonald again, but in the way, half back, Mike's going to be paid after jumping 4 times. From Nolan. Woodchip finds Skipper and Rogerson.
So Rogerson goes short. He finds a teammate to sitting all by himself in Gossman. Gossman goes further wide, finds Walker. He's had to bend down and pick it up, goes to the top of the 50, kicks it over the head of his co-coach in Kerridge, but he's smart enough to get it at ground level, spills around to Reynolds on his left foot, 35 metres out, and he does not make any mistake over his right shoulder. And really, really good finishes twice now in this quarter by Reynolds. But it was the work done at ground level there by Sam Kerridge. Just had plenty of poise to be able to get back onto the ball, push out his direct opponent, and get the quick handball out. And Reynolds defab, gee, he looks classy.
And that direct opponent was Andy Hall too, so a nice battle there between those two. And it was certainly the beneficiary of that game.
Jez Cameron last night with the left foot over the shoulder. Nicely done. His second, Reynolds, 4-1-25, Mildura.
On the breadbasket
on the cumulative scoreboard, and I think he's going to get the 3 for it. In fact, it's going to go the way of Cottrell in the centre. So the Roos need to go inside 50 again, not wasting time. So the lead from Brander.
Great grab.
Body work was great, just slipped early. He's going to take set shot at goal from just outside 50. Distance kick shouldn't be an issue for the former GWS of West Coast forward.
We're right behind him here, Mitchie, so we've got a fantastic view. Probably the best kick in the competition. What do you reckon?
Yeah, have to be about that in the field. See more of the stencil on the wing than we do with the 50 arcs, so a bit of a guessing game.
Bring the colouring in, pencils.
So Brander on the runway.
Here we go.
Just
Look at that.
Absolutely perfect. No mistake there from Big Jared Brander. And what a time for Wentworth to get their first of the day. 1-1-7. Trailing Mildura 4-1-25 on the cumulative club scoreboard here in the opening term on Hot FM. Sunraysia footy for the Houston Club Resort.
Yeah, just on that free kick out of the middle to Jack Cottrell, that's something that Mildura's got to be careful of. I noticed that in the first couple of semi-finals, they weren't quite double teaming Cottrell, but if someone was in the vicinity, they were just making sure they got a hand or a body to it. So a bit of attention being put in there clearly. On that occasion, the free was given away, leads to a goal.
Back into the centre, old right way and oval. Ruck, Grace, tap down, off the hands of Cottrell, Bear, down low. Accidental over the shoulder, but it is a free. We'll get away with that one there.
He's got a player out wide too. He elects to go forward with a short kick, finds Carter. Carter with a quick handball, finds a running player in Campbell Davis and goes forward, kicks, beats everybody, and the ball's quickly picked up over the back by Butner of Mildura. So the new recruit gets the 1-2, goes inside, finds the direct teammate, pushes through with the don't argue, but quickly gets picked up. The ball's turned over, now in the hands of Cottrell, goes to centre half forward, Tyres, has a hurried kick, not a great kick, and it just goes down at the boot. So it looks like that should be Mitch Davidson. So he did no favours there for his brother at centre half forward as he's quickly racked up by 3 players. And we're at the top of the 50, Mitchie, for another ball up.
Grace the tap down, going past everybody. Watson's hands were good. Off the hands of Zach DeBrosa. Stacks on the middle again, just outside forward 50. 5 minute Reynolds says, give it to me, stalemate. 18 points the difference in favour of Mildura. Gone 17.5 minutes in this opening term. Round at 3 footy, perfect day here at Broadway and Oval. Alvin, the tap down was good. Taken out of the middle there by Watson again, busting his way through. Back of the pack, Reynolds was the target. Pick up by the wall was handy, but just slipped at the wrong second. Reynolds sockers it forward. He's going to get a free for a hole too, a lingering jumper grab. He's wasting no time.
Right over the back, one out here at the moment, and Kerridge beautifully turns his player inside out and had Lachlan Murdoch in all sorts. And it was just really smart play there by Reynolds to understand that he was one out, put him behind the play, and absolutely perfect positioning there from the full forward in Kerridge.
It's nice here in the SFNL at the moment, defense. You see some of the Premier midfielders just making themselves right home deep forward. Kerridge here, of course, Dan Coleman or Rick as well, just extending the careers a bit longer.
Absolutely, and why not? They've certainly got the talent to do it. Kerridge there on the occasion was certainly a step ahead to Murdoch.
Great contested mark. It's going to be rewarded with a major as well. Through the middle, Kerridge has his first goal of the day. Mildura have their fifth, 5-1-31, leading Wentworth 1-1-7 on that junior club scoreboard. Again, as you said, Reynolds, just that little bit of a touch from Reynolds. There's a rare free kick to give away for Andy Wall. Normally you don't see him grabbing the jump like that, but just a little turn from Reynolds was great. And then put it to the advantage side line.
It was the first time I've actually probably seen Andy Wall a little bit worried out. It was as if he was actually looking behind, not from footsteps or anything, but to know how good a player he was actually playing on. So it was as if he didn't want to overrun that ball to centre half back for the fear that Reynolds was right on his tail. And in doing that, he overran the ball, and Reynolds just, as I said, just that quality of play, perfectly going inside 50 and
Around grounds for Fatty Mildura, South Mildura 6-1-37. Off to a good start against Gibson at 2-2-14. So the Bulldogs train keeps rolling on.
Gee, the Doggies on fire to start 2026 at the moment. They the boys have got them absolutely blind.
Sandy Smythe, the single Sandy Smythe, I should say. So Sandy Smythe, for all those single ladies out there who want to know, he's up here on the phones doing the work around the grounds, and he would be absolutely telling the young coaches what needs to be done.
Not the only way he's doing on the mobile devices.
If you want a cat, slam it. If you know how to cook hot dogs, you have got a place in your car.
Sandy Smythe back into the centre of Brightway. 4-goal lead here again for Mildura re-established. Grace leaves it behind. Nice pick up and turn from Carter. Kick inside 50 is long. Go back to the flight. It's a good mark from Ben Hurley. One of the better defenders in the SFNL. We know he's good one-on-one.
If you don't get something like you down there, wouldn't he? Just another big body to be able to help him out.
Take the pressure off a little bit. Kick down the line is good. It's a great lead with the ball too. I think Watson coming through.
Just trying to see. He's a little bit far on the other side of the ground there.
Cheesy needs to move forward. Good kick. Not a great one, but a chance for Murphy on the far side. Just barrels it forward. Chaos ball might work. It sits up here for the youngster in Fordham, who takes a running bounce in his second senior game. He couldn't quite put it through. Gee, what a way that would have been to kick your first goal and senior footy. Across the line and through for a minor score. 5-2-32. 1-7.
Looks like that's Will DeRosa out on the wing.
Thank you, Deeper.
Heel/C-foam boots.
Heel/C-foam.
Works for Jules.
I'll try and get it right.
What a combination. That seems
I reckon the challenge for the rest of the day, you think that's going to get the colour cards exactly right as well.
As we see a beautiful mark taken on the halfback flank by Aaron Duck of Wentworth, so finally getting himself into the game. They need a big game from Duck to be able to, as he said, take some key marks going forward. So he goes down the line, centre wing, the ball spills down perfectly for looks like Mitch today. No, it's Baird. So Baird has the boot, ball smothered off the boot. Spills out, it's a left foot kick forward going by Carter. Carter looking for Brander inside, jumped too early, spills out the back, and Hurley gets a hurried kick, trying to clear out of the fence and find Plugger Murphy this time. It goes long direct down the line, but only as far as the opposition player and Archie Latore.
He's kicking into the man on the mark as well. That's 3 times the Roos have done that in the first quarter. Kick was more in hope than anything. Scatting left it behind. Kerridge handballs up, trying to bust their way through, and Mildura's going to get a free kick. Half forward here, Sam Gosling, the recipient. He's got Rogerson at the top of the 50. Goes there. Looking for a man short.
He's got Reynolds if he needs him.
He chips it up in that direction, tries to turn his man Wall inside out. He's got some support through Murdoch. Right foot kick down the wing, looks pretty good. Duck's got some space through the fingertips, but he's got time. Handball back to do Murdoch any favours, but he's busted his way through a would-be tackler. Duck slacks it forward. Edwards back for Cottrell. Good kick inside's nicely weighted. Chance to go here again through Vandenberg.
So Vandenberg gives it to a running. Cottrell could have been taken late, but the great kick. Down, Toyfield finds Baird. Baird quickly plays on, looking for a leading target in Hancock, who takes a diving chest mark out in front of his direct opponent, 30 metres out, nearly directly in front. That was really good follow-up down in half back from Lockie Murdoch. He had 3 touches and just kept running forward to be able to help out his teammates. And it was his effort that was able to get the ball inside to Cottrell, and probably unlucky not to be able to get a kick downfield. But Baird with a beautiful steering kick finds Hancock.
Probably the best passage to play for the Roos going forward defence.
Absolutely, yeah. Brandon has been a target so far, but you've got to keep Hancock under control too.
It looks pretty good off the boot. He likes it, Wade Hancock. Second major of the game for Wentworth, 2-1-13. Mildura by 19 points, 5-2-32 on the Kumiela scoreboard. So 23, back in 24 minutes in his opening term on Hot FM. But the Euston Club Resort is absolutely worth the drive out there to the Euston Club. Going enjoy a nice weekend out there with family and friends.
Curious, what colour boots would we say RJ Watson's rocking at the moment? I got a little bit of mint.
Sage.
But he certainly looks like those skinny leaves you get from the Alex Wallers. As we see Jensen taken down perfectly, finds a teammate in Wentworth. He gets a handball out wide, but puts his player under pressure. Carter tries to go back in the top, but the ball spills out to Mitchie Rogerson. He goes with a hurried kick towards the top of the 50. And a flying mark across his direct teammate was Reynolds. He plays on immediately looking for Kerridge. Kerridge has the ball spoiled by scatting from behind. He gets down hands and knees trying to rope his own ball. The pack forms on top of him, and we're going to see a ball up deep in the attacking 50 here from Mildura on the Eddie Wanda Avenue end.
You see the ID fabric with Reynolds. He just came from nowhere to get past Harry Howard in that contest.
Absolutely. He's causing plenty of headaches at that moment.
Might be a free kick there against Watson. He didn't pay it. Now his teammate's going to get a free for a high shot in the pocket. I reckon that might be to Rosa again. He will. He's got it very much on a 180-degree angle there. Not much daylight between the goalposts, so going to go around the corner. Right foot banana.
Oh, yes.
Take it to the bank. Puts it through the middle. Will DeRose has got his first of the day. Nice start here for the D's. 6-2-38 Wentworth. 2-1-13. Cumula Club scoreboard. I guess there's been any fears that Mildura maybe could be a little bit sluggish to start this year after being a bit of change from the premiership side. Been late so far, for opening 5 terms at the home and away season.
Yeah, certainly no signs of a premiership hangover, that's for sure. And also just the quick response as well was good to see from them, albeit a free kick could have been played the other way, probably like you said, Mitch, but certainly responding quickly whenever Wentworth had come up with something.
Centre bounce, Grace tries to fly forward, ball goes back to Carter. Carter has to spin around, immediately taken it back to his Naus enough to get it to Harry Howe. Goes forward looking for Brander, he's got 2 to beat. Hurley tries to shepherd off, does really well. As we see, it looks like that was DeRosa looking down the field. Tries to find McDonald, but the ball was intercepted there by Murdoch. He's now starting to creep up and get himself in the game across half back.
Done some really nice things in the last 5 minutes or so. Big kick inside 50, duck the target, but Buchner just nice use of the body there without using the hands. He's played on off the mark. Umpire's told him to go. Switching off the far side to the second gamer and Satchel Tyrrell.
Big runs for Tyrrell.
Great stat we saw during the week, DFAB. Of course, a couple of years ago, 2023, won the under-16s for going to medal for the best and fairest while still being eligible for under-14s. So the kid's got some talent.
He looks like he's still under 14s. He is a star. As we see Jones go further down the field. The other flank is going to be in the hands of Watson. Watson quickly plays on. McDonald tries to fly from the back, with Courage going back with the flight of the ball. That was a fantastic mark. Is that
Harry Howe?
It is Harry Howe. So, welcome back to the big league. He's got a great size about him, and they're going to be really happy to see him back in the Bruce colours. He immediately plays on to Blaine Grills. So Grills with a raking left foot goes to the top centre half forward. The pack forms coming through. It looks like Baird pushed off the ball at the last minute, trying to barge his way through again. Could have been RJ Watson. And he's caught holding the ball at the top of the 50. Another inside 50 here coming away. Wentworth, you think.
Debbie Vandenberg's going to be the recipient. 55 out. Not a great kick, but the chaos ball may work. And he goes back from where it came. Buchner, long kick down the line. Grills slipped over, but go back and get it. One-on-one with McDonald. Both fighting at ground level. Harry Howe, high up and under kick will be at the peak of the 50. Try to mark that one, everyone says. It's probably not hard, really. The shortest man on the ground is the number 49. Switching kick works there for Watson. That stack of it is only turn.
So Watson, he's on the defensive 50 line, goes short, wide. Mildura really just happy to see the ball slow down, so he goes further back, finds Hurley. Hurley goes back with the 1-2, finds Watson. So Sat Paddock, yeah, why not? Watson goes with a short kick looking for Brown. The ball beats everyone, goes over the top, and it's going to be a boundary throw in just forward of centre here in the attacking half of Wentworth.
I'll go around for Fabric Mumbai in a second. DFAB gets him scored from other grounds.
Certainly some signs there that the players are pretty good at things. Pointing out that Premier Data's tracking that information. But around the grounds for Fatty Mumbai, I recall a 3-3-21, leading Merdeen at 1 straight 56. And South similarly to what we had before against Imperials.
Geez, how many high tackles have we had against Mildura in this first quarter?
Well, they're the ones getting down low ground level at the moment. This time Brown's going to be the recipient. It's got to be in short, and Lando decides to go wider. Just carries the 15 there for Watson.
I'll be getting the tape measure out.
I reckon if our great mate Bill Saw was here, probably the protractor, I think. As we used to pull out of the school 100 metres. Long kick down the line. Keel at the back of the fly, off the fist of Scatting. Nolan to ground level for Mildura. Taken down, but it's going to go through the pack here. He's trying to push forward.
Yep.
And again, they're just putting themselves in the right position at the moment, the Demons. He's going to run and go again.
Is that DeRosa again?
I think it is.
He's been busy as he goes with a high ball. 35 metres out, pack forms. Kerridge tries a fly, taps it from the behind. Spills out only as far as it looks like was that Owl, but he kicks it and finds a man in Lando. So Lando elects to go short, finds Nolan. He's 60 metres out, goes with another short kick, but this time misses everything and finds Blaine Grills, who's happy just to slow the tempo down.
Had the right idea. He just didn't see Grills dropping off in the space in front of Kerridge. He's going to wheel and go with the left foot down the line. At the back of the pack, nice mark there from Buchner.
Just 3-on-1 at the moment, isn't there, wasn't it?
Liu dances around the man on the mark, Jones. Kicks deep in the pocket looking for Kerridge. 3-on-1 against him. Might work for Brown if it stays in. Ball just starts to trickle over the boundary line as the quarter time siren sounds. And what a start it has been for Mildura in this round 3 contest. 6-2-38, Wentworth 2-1-13 on the Kumiella Club scoreboard in that opening term for the Euston Club Resort here on Hot FM. Sunraysia Footy in 2026 brought to you by Collie and Tierney, First National Real Estate. We're going to flick back to the studio for a few messages from our valued sponsors. We'll be back on the other side of this on your home of live local sport in Sunraysia, and we are Hot FM. Quarter time here in your Hot FM match of the day. Sunraysia Footy, it's Mildura 6-2-38, leading Wentworth 2-1-13 on the Kumiella Club scoreboards. Teams still deep in their huddles at the moment as we get ready for the second term to come underway. Mitch Rod, Michael Di Fabrizio, Ben Ridley bringing you the action here today. I'll just be having a bit of a camera tracking of our man Sergeant Slammer out there, just sauntering his way across Ryan Waitman Oval.
Look at him. I mean, talk about single. He's got no one around him for miles, and if this is the opportunity to be able to go and bear hug him, any of you single girls that...
or guys,
it doesn't matter. Slammer's your man.
What a start it has been for the D's. Goal kickers, 2 for Luke Reynolds. What a performance it's been for him so far. Sam Kerridge, Will DeRosa, Elijah Brown, Max Keel with singles. Wade Hancock and Jared Brander both hitting the scoreboard for the Roos. And just before we go around the grounds for Fatty Boomba for DFAB, got some A-grade netball results from earlier today as well. Orion United 50-43 over Redcliffs down at Underbull Rec Reserve. Merbean 55-43 over Irimple. The Magpies, great performance from them. And in a ripper just over the left shoulder here for us, Mildura 41 defeated Wentworth 40. The first home and away game that Wentworth have lost since, I think, 2019.
The amount of players, too, that have left Wentworth, and yet they are still right there. But really good recovery there from Merbean after their loss against Oyen last week. Probably a really good result there for Redcliffs. Oyen have gone in at full strength, but, geez, that would have been a ripping game to be able to go and watch today between Mildura and Wentworth, last year's grand finalists. So Mildura will be happy to get that one over.
Absolutely. DFAB, just your thoughts on the opening term here?
Yeah, it's an impressive start from Mildura. Where, you go through the players trying to work out who's the best, and there's probably a good 15 or so that you could talk about in some capacity. So that's always a good sign as far as performing on the field. And Wentworth have got their work cut out for them. I don't think they've been, completely out of it as such. It's just that they've just struggled to get the game going the way they want to play.
Well, we saw really the best passage of play they had going forward was the one that resulted in the Wade Hancock goal, Riddles, and that was probably the time when they actually managed to lower the eyes, kicking forward a little bit more rather than sitting it up high. Yeah,
and that's been the problem for them, Mitchie. You're exactly right. They're just going in at the moment with too many high balls, and they're going in too slow. So what's that allows Mildura's defenders to be able to go back, and often when we're seeing either duck and especially Brander, they're having to beat 3 players each time, and it's just making it really tough work. The time that they were able to lower their eyes, as you said, and be able to get some quick ball movement inside, that's when they started to look dangerous. But for them to be able to get back in the game here, they've got to get some more free-flowing footy at the moment. They're just too rushed.
Term about to get underway here on Hot FM Sunraysia Footy. Of course, it's brought to you by Club Aquarius Gold Goal. Our man John Hollywood putting the finishing touches on the Gold Goal gym out there. So we're into the middle, and Jensen will take it out for Wentworth. Kick will set up for McDonald, off his knees, gains some territory. Watson at ground level, handball goes back for Zach DeRosa. High up and under, contested mark situation, looking for brother Will. It's going to be scampered across the 11th Street wing and over the boundary line in front of that Kumiela Club scoreboard.
Yep, just around the grounds for Fatty Boomba. We've got Orimple 3-4-22 leading Merbein, just the one goal. Oyen United 5-4-34 leading Redcliffs 3-4-22. So nice battle out there. And South Mildura 8-2-50 leading Imperials 4-3-27.
So Cottrell trying to barge his way through there out of the ruck contest. So on the far side in front of the scoreboard, the ball will go up again. Tap down this time, only as far as it looks like Cottrell again. So Cottrell on hands and knees, tries to get the ball out. Ball goes out wide. Mitchie Rogerson has a couple to beat in Carter. Carter happy to just paddle it forward under pressure.
Gets a push.
Oh, no, it was actually, it's hit his toes. So it's gone back on Mitchie Rogerson, hit his toes, out of bounds on the full. So Carter, centre wing, he's going to go short. Looking for a lead there by Duck, but intercepted across half-back there by Loveday in his second game of senior football. Wide little kick, only probably 5 metres to Watson. Watson goes to Reynolds. He's at centre half-back. Looking for a nice spearing kick, and that's a great kick, finding a running player in Nolan.
He's told to play on now. Little handball, finds McDonald, chips it up towards the 50 mark, going with the flight. Beautifully done by Reynolds. Casually takes a bounce, if you don't mind, towards the goal. And on the last level, Sam Kerridge check sides it and has to apologise to his teammate Max Peel.
He should.
He's just burned him, but what a bit of work there from Luke Reynolds. Didn't even look like he was trying, DFAB, but just cut his way through the middle like Moses in the Red Sea.
Yeah, well, to be fair to Sam Kerridge, I had the binoculars on. I saw another player in the goal square. I assumed it was a player from the other team, but they could just raffle it off.
Fair to Sam Kerridge. He's burnt young Maxi Keel. Bit of me time from Kerridge. But Reynolds, he was the one who speared it in from centre half back and just absolutely busted his gut there to be able to run inside 50, taking the mark, going the opposite way of the footy. And he's a special player.
Opening goal 2 minutes into this second term for Mildura. 7-2-44, leading Wentworth 2-1-13 on the Kumiela Club scoreboard. And from half-back, they can go again. Leho, just a little handball out wide for Jones. Looking for Walker. Gee, that's both players had hands on the ball.
Oh, he's paid it to
Going to
Walker.
pay it to the man in front.
Jeez, I thought Edwards had a fair chunk of that footy there, Mitchie.
Could be aggrieved and looks to go forward. So Walker up and under. A chance to fly at the back of the pack. McDonald prowling. Can he keep the ball in play? He can. Handball was not quite on. Edwards, it's a good clearing one. So now a chance here through McDonald, who's got some space to work with. Right shoe going forward. Hancock at the back. Jones did well to keep his feet, and he's got some help. Hurley with a little kick around the corner. May work for Leo. And though Baird brings it to ground level too, scrambling on the wing.
Cottrell, he's got 3 to beat, tries to handball it back in looking for McDonald. The umpire says it was incorrect disposal, throwing the ball. So on
Finding it hard to find space at the moment, Jack Cottrell.
Left half-back flank. It's a quick play on by Nolan. Nolan goes forward with a handball to Lehu. Lehu goes to the top of the 50 looking for a leading Kerridge. And a great intercept mark going back. It was a punch there by Lockie Murdoch going back with the flight of the ball. Very courageous. He had Kerridge coming straight out at him. It's going to be a boundary throw in at the top of the 50, right in front of the Mildura supporter base.
Yeah, we don't have John Hollywood on the boundary today, but DFAB, I think we saw Andy Wall just come to the bench before. Not sure if he's having a rest or something more going on down there, but certainly not the man you want off at the moment. Handball here for Wentworth, the tyres taken down immediately there by McDonald. Happy to have him down inside the centre square.
You're right though, Mitchie. You don't want him off the ground.
Grace tapped down. Rogerson just paddling it forward for Mildura. McDonald there as well. Grace has had a good start to this game. Leho going 1-2 there with McDonald inadvertently, but it works. Snap towards the forward pocket. Run by Davison running at it, but he's got 2 to beat down there. The pressure from the D's was outstanding. Going to see it across the boundary line and we'll get a throw in.
Did well, didn't he?
Yeah, well, at the end, I thought it just sort of escaped his hand. It might have been a bit of a throw, but just not sure what happened first, whether it just they were over the line or what that was.
Top of the 50, Jensen gets front position, pushes it down forward, only as far as Nolan. Nolan has a couple to beat. He's going to be happy to get a quick, hurried kick off the left foot. Could have been taken high, was Murdoch. The ball spills out to Jensen. Jensen back to Murdoch. Murdoch now tries to clear the defensive 50, going long, looking for Brander. Brander has a few to beat. It falls in the hands of Buechner. Great tackle! And the umpire says you were held on too long, so well done by Duck. So on centre wing, He'll immediately play on. It's a really average kick looking for Brenda. Brenda gets front position and a great grab.
65 from home, goes centrally, and it's going to work. Here's McDonald. In fact, it's much from outside 50, long to the square. It's going to trickle through. And they're going to pay it. Reece Much is the man who's put it through the centre. I think the umpire said that both Hancock and his direct opponent Jones had hold of each other, and in the end it's dribbled past them all 60 metres from home.
Great kick by Much, and as you said, he was a long way out, but they were certainly wrestling amongst each other, but it looked like a big spin tackle there from Hancock, as we see on our replay here. Yeah, probably both infringing on each other at the same time, to be fair, but a very much needed goal there from Reece Much.
Mildura 7-2-44, Wentworth 3-1-19. Looks like Much Steve Happ has gone into the middle now as part of the rotation.
Yes, well, Cottrell's just come off, so I think he's probably the bigger body presence there. Yeah, they want to replace him.
Yeah, handball back, he was looking for Baird, but he threw it. So it's going to be a free kick to Mitchie Rogerson in the middle of the ground. The Rolls Royce goes with a long kick to the top of the 50, going through into the great Marcus Walker. No, he spills it, slaps it around the corner to the top of the square, looking for Kerridge, and one out. Does it easily against his direct opponent in Scadding, who was in all sorts. He didn't even know where Kerridge was, let alone the ball. And an easy mark in the breadbasket for Kerridge. He's going to be kicking 10 metres out.
It's like me near a plated all-you-can-eat buffet. Had his name all over and coming through. You could just see Dave he had the right position the whole way through, and the chaos ball from Walker worked.
Yes, Walker was the chef that put it on a plate for him.
So Kerridge earned his teammate Max Keel on the goal line before, but he's going to line up from point-blank range. We did say that about Harvey Vandenberg earlier too, hit it into the man on the mark, but no such mistake there for the Mildura coach. Puts it through, and he's got his third of the day. The Demons 8-2-50, leading Wentworth 3-1-19 on the Kumiala Club scoreboard in the second term of some Ranger footy for Hot FM for Club Aquarius Gold.
Down forward seems to be a little bit of an issue for them, down back for Wentworth, as we see Scadding's now come off, and they're going to have Andy Wall, who is going to go back into defence. Lockie Murdoch looks like he's going to take the role of standing next to Kerridge, but at the moment I think that probably seems to be the matchup that seems to be giving him most headaches.
Yeah, well, I think it's a sigh of relief, I think, to see Wall back out there for Wentworth perspective at the moment, so that's the main thing.
Back into the centre of BWO, and Rogerson takes it out with ease. Kick forward, man in front, trying to get around there. Handball off was nice for Gosman, who on the run. What a hit there from Sammy Gosman. Beautifully set up from Maxi Keel in the forward 50, but hits that flush, and 2 goals in a minute of play there for the Demons. That hurts for Wentworth. 9-2-56. The Roos 3-1-19 Kumiala Club scoreboard. Sammy Gosman, Defab, a young man who's been in and out of the senior team a few times over the last few years, but I think he's got a real opportunity to cement a spot in 2026.
Absolutely, and also brings out the aeroplane celebration as well. So he certainly loves a goal too, as Elijah Brown's gone into the midfield for the D's.
Change of number too, he's gone down from the 49 to the number 5 Guernsey, so a show of faith for the young man.
Yeah, no, well, he started off very strongly, as we see a hurried kick this by that man, Elijah Brown. Hurried kick off the boot by Reynolds. Going back with the play is Much, as the ball spills out further deep in defence there for Wentworth, as they're just trying to do anything they can to get the ball forward. And a long way from home is Wade Hancock. He plays off from centre half back, but he's got nowhere to go, so he gives a handball back to Carter. Carter goes further wide looking for McKinnon, but McKinnon is beaten to the contest. And Mildura, just can't see, we've got this Wentworth tennis to seeing who it was. I think it's Lee Hu. So Lee Hu's going to be kicking from centre wing commentary side. Plays on around his direct opponent, going further afield. At the fall of the ball is Plugger Murphy with a nice little toe poke forward. Doesn't get any real ground, and it's going to be a ball up 5 metres inside the boundary, attacking end from Mildura.
1.5 gone in the second term. Hot FM footy. No rucks go near it, so Rogerson picks it up on the bounce. Handball to space. Keel on the outside of the boot. Kerridge went to ground. Shrugs the first tackle. Gone the second time. Latched onto that one, did McDonald. In fact, Wall's going to be the recipient for the free. On the last line of defence, they couldn't afford to give away another one. So they kick down the line as Campbell Davison.
He'll be happy to see his brother Mitchie lining up with him again this season.
Yeah, first time in a while. I think the two have been on the same side. Short kick, finds Duck, who looks like he might have moved into the ruck position now. Swings and goes inboard.
Great kick.
That's a beautiful hit. Vandenberg got the switch on here for Hancock, who stayed further down the ground. The stenciled logo on the wing. Gets past the would-be Gosman tackle. Little chip is nice for Al. Quickly running past against Vandenberg. Some nice work from the youngster. Kicks it like a brick. Looking for Brander. Hurley. Geez, just running out of space.
Full, I reckon, too.
He has handballed that onto the shins of Jared Brander, and it's going to be out on the full. That's the thinking man's way of getting out of trouble.
Well, we saw that last week, was it, in the AFL, where that was causing a bit of a stir. But if anyone that watches basketball will know that's a very standard play. If you're in a bit of trouble, just throw it on the other player.
NBA playoff season at the moment. Mitchie Wright clears out of defence.
I'll take that.
Walker beat into the contest, and that's a beautiful mark. Taken by Latore.
It looks like he's put on a bit of muscle too,
He really has. He's been in the gym. So Latore goes back with the handball to Hancock. Hancock goes with a deep kick inside 50, looking for Brander, and it's going to be a free kick down the field as he was just taken late. And Brander will take the kick. He's going to be about 5 metres in from the right-hand boundary. It's going to be a tough angle here for the right footer, kicking from about 40 metres out. He'll take his best to be able to set Wentworth back on the right track again.
The old Jason Bell flank, of course, back from the 2020 grand final. Similar kind of areas, right behind the run up here for Jared Brander. Got one in the opening term. And that's perfection. Wow. Cannot ask for anything better. Absolutely had that dialed in at the laser level. And it goes through the middle, and a much-needed goal there for the Roos. His second, the fourth for them. 4-1-25. Mildura 9-2-56 on the Kumiala Club scoreboard. DFAB hasn't had a lot of it so far, but you can't give him too many opportunities.
Yeah, you just felt that he was going to enjoy that chance, wasn't he? Because he's had a lot of ball to him where it's been 2-on-1, and it hasn't really been advantageous to him doing what he can do. Whereas when you get a free kick downfield like that, it's a bit of a gift in one way, but you got to convert it, and I think he was waiting for that chance.
Back into the centre. Al with the tap down, follows up at ground level, but leaves it behind. Zach DeRosa. He did. All pinballing.
Like a Murphy doing there. He looked like Danielson from the Karate Kid.
Handball from Rogerson out wide. Wax on, wax off. In fact, it's something else off, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, free kick. Didn't have the ball.
Held on a little bit long. The skipper's going to get the free kick.
Look at RJ Watson trying to stat that there. You weren't even near it, son. He's trying to claim the free kick.
From the Ben Ridley School of Training.
Very, very smart player. That's how you get the votes. As we see the ball go wide, Brodie Jones with a short kick finds RJ Watson. So centre half, on the half-forward flank, goes further down the field looking for Buchner, who's gone a long way down from his usual stance at centre half back. He's 60 metres out, hugging the boundary line. He elects to just go with a big bomb looking for Kerridge as the pack flies. Kerridge tries to rove over the back. He does. He snaps around. No, gives it to a running player. Is it Fordham?
The youngster.
Fordham for his first goal, running off with a handball there from the coach. In the perfect position. Timed it perfectly. Kerridge, who knew just to stay at ground level there instead of flying for it. Let Reynolds go for it against 3 opposition players. Fell down, turned a few players inside out and had Fordham running past at pace. Nice little handball there, and that's the first goal for the young fella. And it makes up for that selfish goal that Kerry did earlier in the day where he just burnt Maxi Keel.
Gee, it was beautifully done, and DFAB, it's always going to be something the young player's going to remember, the first goal at senior level.
Absolutely, and did well to be in the right position there. And it shows the effectiveness of the forward line that Mildura have, that they've got Reynolds drawing, being a magnet for attention in the first instance, then Kerridge is the next magnet for attention. It allows someone else to take advantage.
There's just no breath, is there? Like, you don't get a breath playing against those guys on every line.
10-2-62 Mildura, Wentworth 4-1-25, Kumiala Club scoreboard. Yeah, geez, probably lucky that umpire Bree was on the other side of the contest. Gosman getting up fine though. 4 goals for the term for Mildura, just the 2 for Wentworth. Grace tapped to his own advantage. Watson leaves it behind. Back of the pack here, the Roos. Grills just pokes it out wide, trying to find his way through there is Edwards. Little kick down the line, might work okay.
Lee Howe's played really well across half-back today.
I like the move down there too. He looks pretty handy, although that kick wasn't quite to the intended target. Latore will take the intercept. Now Grills will sweep up centre half-back.
Grills goes further afield looking for Wall. Wall on the left half-back flank with another short kick. Finds that was Reece Much. He could have been taken around the chops there. He elects to play on. goes long, looking for Brander, inside 50. Brander beat to the contest there by Hurley. As you said, Mitchie, really well read, so he plays on very quickly to the previous goal kicker in Fordham. On the far side, he goes with another short kick down the line, looking for Gossman. Gossman happy to see the contest fly, falls in the hands of McDonald. And the ball's going to go over the boundary line right in front of our scoreboard here. As you said, Mitchie, 10-2-62, 4-1-25 Wentworth.
Might go around the grounds for Fatty Bumbo and get some scores here from DFAB.
Yeah, just checking in at the moment. We've got iRipple 6-4-40 and Merbeam 4-1-25, so a little bit of fight back from the Magpies. Owen United have actually fallen into deficit now. They're 1 point behind Redcliffs.
Nice work there across the free kick for Wentworth, and Edwards, as you said earlier, Reynolds deceptively big, the young man. Yeah. Looks down the line from centre half back.
See, this is it, 3-on-1.
Yeah, set Duck a real challenge there. Buchner's handball back was good. Look away handball from Hurley was clever. Now further down the line, Walker was named in the ruck, has been playing on the wing.
Yeah, yep, noticed that as well.
Free kick for a high shot, and Buchner, in fact, it's going to come back to Walker.
But that's the kick we spoke about, where they were kicking towards centre half forward, really not lowering the eyes at all. 3-on-1 contest. Duck was never going to really be an advantage in that position.
Centre half forward, Grace the target. A lot of flies there for Wentworth. Ground level, Rogerson taken down. Tackle from Baird.
Yeah, I like Baird of Wentworth. He's a tough in and under player that they've needed.
A lot of similarities, I reckon, DFAB to Jack Carter. Both playing similar kind of styles, shorter, but happy to throw themselves at the contest.
Yes, get in and under. That's certainly a key trait.
Yeah, very good. As we see Bodie Edwards try and take on 4 players. A show of strength there, and wasn't brought down to ground level at all, as he remonstrates with a couple of players in the Mildura colours trying to come and intimidate him, but hasn't taken a backward step at all. So left half forward, attacking end here from Mildura. See Grace and Al go up against each other. Grace taps the ball forward, looking for RJ Watson, tries to push Carter out of the contest. And Baird just pushes his way through, and we'll see right in front of the Mildura faithful, another boundary throw in 60 metres out from Mildura's goal.
DFAB looks like Mildura's set up really well behind the ball here if Wentworth get the clearance.
Yeah, that's been an issue, hasn't it, throughout the afternoon?
Here's a chance here for the Roos as Cottrell finally creates some space for himself. G. Grill's trying to do a little bit too much. Dare I say, bit off more than he can chew. McDonald gets the free. In fact, it's going to go the way of Brown, just outside the 50 arc, left half forward. It's going to go towards the pocket. Reynolds is the target. Well done there by Wall. Brings it to ground level. Numbers with the visitors. Scatting missed the handball off the shoelaces there of Gosman. And it's going to trickle near that left forward pocket post, out of bounds. Travelled nearly 18 minutes in the second term here on Hot FM. 10-2-62 Mildura. Wentworth 4-1-25.
Spot on there, Mitchie. Just nothing to do there further afield. So the ball throws in. Roving at the fall of the ball is Brown of Mildura. As we see the troops try to come in and help him, Mitchie Rogerson, but he's being caught holding the ball. Jack Carter quickly plays off to Blaine Grills. On his left foot goes with a long raking kick to the outer side, looking for Mitchie Davison. He's got a player in Lando to try and beat. Lando up to the task, wins the contest, gives the handball forward. He gets the old one too. As we see Nolan drive the ball forward to the top of the square, looking for a flying race. And it's going to be a shepherding free kick going against Sam Kerridge. Gee whiz, that was a big fly from Dane Grace. So Scatting quickly plays onto the outer side, still deep in the defensive 50. Finds on the outer side Grills.
Grills, left half back. Left shoe out wide is nice. Mitch Davison's got some room to move on the 11th Street flank. Kicks inboard, looking for Baird, just a little bit too much on it. Tracking back for Mildura, there was Zach DeRosa, bumped out of the way. Little kick over the top was clever from McKinnon. Wade Hancock's got plenty of time. He left it behind. He's going to run in towards the top of the goal square and won't make a mistake there, although he tried his best to
make 4 in between it.
In the end, he's put it through for a major, and in quick time, DFAB, the goal that the Roos desperately needed.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but was it? But it started with McKinnon at forward, just really holding his ground and making sure. I think he was the one that was going to grab that footy, and then from there they had the extra man up forward, which has been a rarity this afternoon, where it's the 2-1 in favour of Wentworth in that forward line. But it was on that occasion,
and he was just acting all like Sam Smythe there, just couldn't pick up at all.
For Colin Tierney, First National Real Estate, it is Hot FM Sunraysia Footy. 10-2-62 Mildura. Wentworth 5-1-31 on the Kumiala Club scoreboard. Might have been a throw there from Rogerson. Umpire was blindsided. Carter gets the clearance forward for Wentworth. Might be a chance for 2 in a row if Al can get boot to ball. Bounces away from him. One-handed from McKinnon as well. Umpire lets it go. Rogerson, quick hands was good. Nolan opens it up here for Walker. Striding towards half forward. Kick into space was nicely weighted. Didn't look great off the boot, but it was in front to a leading forward. That's all you can ask for. And Reynolds down low takes the mark. He's got 2 to his name. DFAB looking for number 3. Nice work from Jack Walker with the overlap run.
Yeah, and another chance for a quick response as well from Mildura. So it just seems whenever Wentworth make up a little bit of ground, there's something coming back the other way quickly.
The South Australian Reynolds, outstanding record in the SANFL. Of course, replacing Noah Pecoraro, the Tommy Blair medal winner from last year. And he's just sat it out to the right-hand side. Minor score there for him. His first blemish in front of the sticks today.
Some good goal kicking today. Only 3 behinds from Mildura, 1 for Wentworth.
They just, as you said, it was that overlap run, but they run in numbers. They know that as soon as they get possession of the football anywhere on the ground, they're going to run forward, and they're going to run forward quickly.
Brander had to come a long way down the ground, got hands to it. Parker couldn't control it. Cottrell's handball was nice. Brander had to stop it proper, just send it high. Hancock with a chance, and in fact he's done it beautifully.
There's a player on side in the middle here. Is that Harry L running through the centre of the ground?
He's got an opportunity. Jones did well enough just to hold the ball up on the wing.
They flood back really strongly though, don't they, Mildura?
They absolutely don't waste time. 21 and a half minutes gone in this second term. Kick down the line. In fact, that's a good mark. Well judged there by McDonald. Looked straight into the sun, but took it nicely into the Eddie Wander Avenue end.
Brander's calling for it, but he's got 3 to beat, so he elects to go with a really smart lead. He's going to be kicking right on the 50 and right on the boundary as well. He did one probably about 10 minutes earlier from about 5 metres inside the boundary in the exact same position. So, well, he nailed that last kick, Mitchie. This is going to take an even better kick again. But it was really well played there by Brander. He waited and waited and waited. He could see that the 3 defenders were coming back on him. They couldn't kick it high. And well done by McDonald to pick him out.
He's looking for number 3 of the day. Just inside the paint. Brander, and it's sat out wide. And in fact, out of bounds on the full, no score. You could see the Mildura defence, though, DFAB were quite happy to concede the wide pocket there for Brander and just made sure they cut out the corridor. Yeah,
that's right. In the end, he got the chance, but it was in a very difficult position. So they'd be happy with that, and they'd be happy with him pushing as high up as he did before that, basically at half back almost.
Spot on.
So Jones, back pocket here for Mildura, just dabs it over the top there for Zach DeRosa. Looking for options, hasn't got a lot going for him at the moment.
They know when to go, Mildura. They don't rush it when they don't have to.
Kick down the line. In fact, it's going to be cut off there. Nicely done. Cuts inboard. That's a spearing bullet pass. Straight onto the chest there of Hancock. As you called it there, Riddles. Torre read it best. And main man up forward there for Wentworth, looking for number 3 of the first half.
Beautiful kick by Torre coming through, just perfectly timed. Just floated across the pack there. And as you said, he's certainly a big body there. But it was a great kick, absolutely measured perfectly to hit the chest of Wade Hancock.
Yeah, absolutely, as Hancock comes in to give a much-needed goal to Wentworth. And he's done perfectly, so the Roos have just a bit of life in them.
Certainly done nicely there, Hancock, and a bit of magic there from Torre. Gives them a much-needed boost. 6-1-37 for the Roos. 10-3-63 for Mildura on the Kumiala Club scoreboard in their second term on Hot FM Sunraysia Footy for Club Aquarius goal. But just having a look through Riddles, they've managed to match him with 4 goals in this quarter each. They've done okay, the Roos, considering Mildura's probably had the dominant possession. Yeah,
well, Mildura's the one who looked most likely to be able to break the game apart, and we've spoken about how quickly they respond every time Wentworth do go forward and get through the big sticks. But they've held pace here with them, DFAB. They haven't allowed them to be able to get away, and it just looks like at any stage that the floodgates could open. But Wentworth holding on for dear life, and a very much needed goal there by Wade Hancock.
You've got to be able to capitalise on turnovers like that too, and on that occasion they did, and with a nice kick back inside 50. So if you can take your chances like that when they are given to you, you're a chance to just stay in it.
Back into the centre of the ground, Nick Jensen back into the ruck alongside Brace. Had a really good first half for Mildura. The veteran wins it this time, Jensen. Cottrell's handball missed the intended target. Coming off the wing is Tyrrell, who got horse-collared. Umpire didn't see it. I think he was blindsided in the contest. Brown try to tap it to his own advantage. Gee, height difference between Jensen and Brown is significant.
It's interesting to see how Wentworth are stacking, well, not stacking their midfield. Very inexperienced midfield running against a very experienced midfield of Mildura at the moment.
And a high shot there. A free kick's going to go the way of the Roos, and it's going to be Latore again. In fact, it is Tyres who's going to send it forward to Branda. Too strong. Umpire thought he was going to pay the push for a minute,
I
but
was waiting for that, but he shouldn't have.
just the strength there in the contest. Hurley's not an easy man to move out of the way, DFAB, but he did it with perfect timing.
Yeah, no, you just saw Hurley just basically, I guess almost just fly out of the contest, and the one holding his fate was Branda. So a good battle between the two of them throughout the day so far, but some opportunities for Branda.
Missed his last set shot, which was deep on the boundary. He's trying to be just inside 50, directly in front. On the runway. Gee, the goal umpire has barely moved. It floated for a little bit, didn't know if we were going to make the distance, but in the end, comfortably home for Jared Branda. An important goal for the Roos. They've got a couple in a row, and they've brought that margin back now to just 20 points. 7-1-43 Wentworth, Mildura 10-3-63 on the Coomiella Club scoreboard. Important, DFAB. Some centre clearances going the way of the visitors.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an area that Mildura was on top of early, and I've liked the work of Grace in the ruck in helping get that going, but obviously a tough opponent for him and Jensen, and some of the players like Cottrell on ball for the Roos know how to win the footy.
So Jensen wins the tap, goes forward looking for Cottrell, could have been held. Rogerson, he ends up with the ball in his hands, and the umpire is going to throw it up in the centre of the ground as the pack starts to form around the two big ruckmen. Front position this time goes to Jensen again. Gets it down as far as Mitch Davison. Ball's quickly kicked out of the contest. Centre half forward. The mark is taken below the knees by Harry Yao. He plays on with the player in Jack Cottrell, but the umpire says you were held on for too long, and it's going to be a 50-metre penalty. And it's going to be a set shot at the top of the square by young Harry Yao, as he was held on there by young Wilderosa for just a tad too long. And this is going to be
50.
Yeah, it's not 50.
It happened on the 50-metre arc, didn't it?
And there it is. Oh, he's missed it. He got right in close to the man on the mark. But as you said, DFAB, that was not 50. He's marked that at the top of the 50, and they've set him up 15 metres out. But either way,
20, yeah.
What a missed opportunity there. Harry Yao really would have liked his time again there, Mitchie.
Absolutely. At least pulls the margin back to 19 points. But, gee, they could have been a big dagger blow right on half-time. Hurley out of the full-back for Mildura. Finds Lehal at half-back. He's got an option in the board. Well-weighted pass for Brown.
As you see Jones running past, just saying, hold on to it, hold on to it.
He's going to retreat further back for Hurley. Again, happy just to play possession footy here. The D's. Now Lando.
This is what they do well, Mildura. They don't panic as he goes back again, finds Hurley. Hurley's got to play further afield, but that's the half-time siren, Mitchie. And, wowee, that last shot on goal there by Harry Yao, just a little bit of get out of jail for Mildura late in that second term.
Well, in the end, they won the quarter there, Wentworth, and very important for them. They're 7-2-44, 19 points behind Mildura, 10-3-63 at half-time. And Hot FM Sunraysia footy here, your home of live local sport in Sunraysia. Welcome back to Brian Wayman Oval, where the second half of your SFNL Hot FM match of the day about to get underway in just a few moments. The reigning premiers, Mildura, 10-3-63, hold a 19-point lead over Wentworth, 7-2-44. Mitch Rod, Michael De Fabrizio and Ben Ridley here bringing you all the action. This third term will be brought to you by Pioneer Ford Robinvale. It's worth the drive to Pioneer Ford. A big hello to anyone too who might be listening into our simulcast through the SFNL live streaming service as well. DFAB, we went through the half-time wrap before, and I think Wentworth would be happy, considering the position they're in, to be only 19 points down at the moment. Could have been 12, considering there was the late shot at goal from Harry Howe, which probably got robbed of about 20 metres, I think, going forward. But even so, they're still well within a shot.
Yeah, well, that's right. I'm no mathematician, but if it's just on the 50-metre arc or just outside, and he's kicking from the middle of the forward 50.
One of the easiest spots to figure out a 50-metre penalty from.
That's right. There's a few that might be tricky on the ground to work out, but that's one of the easy ones. But
we start to see the midfielders run through. So for Wentworth, it looks like they're going to be starting off with Mitchie Davison, Jack Cottrell, Nick Jensen as normal in the ruck, and Jack Carter. Dane Grace will take his normal spot, but RJ Watson, Mitchie Rogerson and Nathan Nolan will take centre stage here for the D's as we look to settle into the second half here at BWO, Mitchie.
Kerridge is clearly still staying deep at the moment, hasn't been shifted into the midfield at all today. Clearly no temptation so far. Third term underway here on Hot FM Sunraysia Footy for Pioneer Ford Robin Vale as Jensen takes it out of the ruck for Wentworth. Kick dribbles inside forward 50. Good start here for the Roos. Early decides not to pick it up, just sockers it forward and it works. Just handing it off there was Watson. Handball from Grace was good. Nice vision from Nolan with a little kick out wide. Got some space here to work with the D's and Gosman. Down low, not a great kick for Keel, but it's been taken without it. Umpires let it go. Parker just gets one off. Now Davison runs into a pack of demons and get held up just his defensive side of centre wing.
Unlucky there, Mitchie, not to get the free kick. The ball goes up, front position, this time goes to Grace. Grace taps down only as far as Parker, who's immediately tackled by his direct opponent in Gosman. It's going to be another ball up, directly underneath the nose here on the commentary at the Ray Hepworth Centre. Tap down to Nolan. Nolan has Mitch Rogerson trying to help him out. He oversteps the ball, and again, it looks like the ball's going to be in dispute long enough for the umpire to come back in and throw it up again. This is the third throw up in the exact same spot, just forward of centre attacking end here for the D's. Nice little tap there from Jensen down to Parker. Parker has a player in Cottrell beside him. He gets a quick handball off, looking for a teammate who's quickly tapped out. Baird runs through, but he's got three D's right in front of him. Tries to tackle Grace. Grace gets the ball down to RJ Watson. RJ Watson immediately taken and 60 metres out, this time attacking end for Wentworth. It looks like a rugby ball here, Mitchie.
And real pressure from the Roos early to start this second half.
Yeah, I think it's just a very contested game early in this one, a lot of stoppages.
And Jensen just thumps it uncontested towards the forward 50. It's picked up by Walker though for Mildura. Inside, looking for a teammate. He's just got rid of it in time. Now Watson, across defensive 50. Finds a teammate there, Zach DeRosa. Little kick over the top's nice for Lee, who loves space to run in. Takes a bounce, touch the ball.
Carriage back towards goal.
Second bounce, handball over the top for Brown at half forward. Back to Lee, who again can run in and can go bang! What a running goal from the youngster. He's hit that beautifully, and the run and carry from Mildura has cut their way through again. And what a nice kick for goal from half back, and didn't blaze away DFAB. Got the extra handball in and settled nicely.
Absolutely, goal of the day there. A bit of Daniel Kerr about it back in the day, with the bounces and weaving through, and then just getting a nice 1-2 along the way too. So Brown looked after him and made sure he got on the end of it.
Really like the move of him to half back. I reckon his explosive speed riddles is good for the D's back there.
Yeah, well, as you said, across half back he's been very, very damaging. He's a cool head, but as you said, he can link up very nicely and finding space out there on the half back flank. It's a 200-metre goal there, running towards the Eddie Wonder Avenue end here for the D's.
Mildura 11-3-69, leading Wentworth 7-2-44 on the Kumiala Club scoreboard.
Ball spills back to Rogerson. Rogerson with the forward handball finds a teammate in Nolan, who quickly looks for a handball from McDonald. At centre-half forward, going back on top of the football, it's Reynolds, who's been in everything today, the recruit from Glenelg. Centre-half forward, Mildura end. Nice little tap there from Jensen, goes down as far as Campbell Davison to Mitch Davison. Mitch Davison with a nice forward handball, but was dropped there by Parker. He is immediately met by Mitchie Rogerson. Somehow gets the ball out to Carter. Carter still again. He's got three to beat. As barging his way through, this time was Cottrell to help him out and just settle the play and finds Baird in the middle of the ground.
Beautiful kick, and he sweeps the handball to a running man coming past in much. Goes inside 50, beautiful kick for Brander, but rare mistake for him, slips through the lap, manages to follow up nicely, runs around. How far did he go? Umpire lets it go, ground level. Taken nicely down there. I think it was a love day coming out of full back. Good tackle from Baird. Brings him to ground inside forward 50, 30 metres from home for the Roos. Our uncontested, taps down, tried to shrug off the tackle there was McKinnon. Back for Edwards, runs into a brick wall as Gosman, retreating to go forward. It may work for them. Drew's tackling pressure ramping up here again these few minutes, and now they might be out over the top here through Reynolds.
Reynolds, he goes with a short kick to half forward, finds a diving Kerridge. So Kerridge, he's happy to just wait for his troops to be able to go forward. This time he looks for McDonald inside 50. He's one out, beaten to the ball by Parker. Ball spills down as far as Maxi Keel, who drops it as he tries to break through the tackle. So Wall, he quickly switches across the ground, finds Carter. On the commentary side has another player. He finds him, and that looks like it's McDonald. So McDonald on centre wing.
looking for options forward. 11.369 Mildura. Wentworth 7.244. Just dabs it over the top. Not a great kick in the end. Really nothing to go to. Tarrant Leo takes the intercept mark.
Yeah, it's really tough at the moment, and with not a lot of room to operate, and you've got to just make the right decisions.
So Nolan, handball's off to the man running past in Hurley. Just pokes at it, looking for Reynolds. Wall came over the top. South Australia just actually stands on the footy, and Wall gets a sweeping handball forward. Brander's got some space to work with, 70 from home. It's going to take a bounce very casually.
Got McKinnon.
Comes in board, and in the end he finds the young man in Vandenberg just inside the forward 50. Only a slight angle to speak of, but by the time he puts the foot to the ball, it's going to be right on the paint. Take a good kick from here for the youngster.
Yeah, Reynolds just hit the banana peel in Mario Kart earlier, didn't he?
Vandenberg on the runway. He's given it a good hoik. It's got some distance. What a kick from the youngster. And what a time to do it too. First goal of the second half for the Roos. He gets his second. And in fact, it's his first goal in senior footy. Of course, he missed out on the one earlier in the day. And look at his teammates get around him. What an important goal it was for the youngster.
Hugely important goal, and certainly made up for the first miss where he's joined the illustrious Di Fabrizio smothered on the first kick club. But that was a really important goal there, and again, just finding that space on the outside. It was probably interesting to see so much space to Brander allowed, and and just being able to settle again, lower the eyes, and finding Vandenberg with a nice little lead up.
First kick at goal being smothered on the mark is an exclusive club. I reckon kicking your first goal from the 50-metre arc is probably just as exclusive. Young Vandenberg doing beautifully.
As we see the ball now spills out of their hands, is that a free kick going in the way of Wentworth? So Wentworth starting to get a bit of ascendancy forward. Aaron Duck, who's taking his role in the ruck, goes to the top of the 50 looking for Hancock, one out. Punch from behind. Jack Carter finds a spot front and centre. He retreats further back, finds a teammate, it looks like in DeRosa, with a hurried kick forward, but they're under pressure at every point here, the D's at the moment, feeling it for the first time. A great little handball out by RJ Watson. The ball goes forward looking for Reynolds. Reynolds has a player running inside, and Zachy McDonald again. He goes with the 1-2 to Reynolds. He just gets it by the fingertips. He goes inside 50, one out. Kerridge is beaten to the ball this time by Scatting, who gets front position.
You can see DFAB Kerridge was calling for it over the back, but unfortunately Reynolds didn't get the read, did he?
Yeah, the memo didn't get through, but nice work from Scouting, who's had a tough afternoon playing on Kerridge.
Handball inside here for Mitch Davison. Didn't quite hit the target.
Themselves, aren't they?
He might have wanted in the back. Mildura wanted holding the ball. Neither of those happened. We're going to get a ball up in the centre. Umpire Mick Brewell to take the footy. 19-point margin in favour of Mildura. 7.5 minutes into this third term. Hot FM footy. Pioneer Ford Robinvale bringing you this third quarter. Tap down. Cottrell was held. Umpire's going to give it to him. Plug Murphy just a little jumper grab.
Just too big for him, Cottrell. He tried to slow him down as Cottrell goes with a big driving kick inside 50, looking for a one out with Brander. He spills it going back the other way, but he quickly dives onto it, gets a handball back out to Bodie Edwards. Bodie Edwards with a hurried kick around the corner, looking for Hancock, who takes a great grab out in front of his direct opponent in Brodie Jones. And the resurgent Roos going inside 50 nice and quickly at the moment, TFAB, and they're starting to get some one-on-ones.
I was just about to say they're getting some good looks there. Brander's almost a bit surprised to be getting one-on-ones at the moment. He's sort of spilled the last couple, but has certainly he's good on his feet and knows how to recover and find an open teammate, and that's what led to this mark here.
So strong overhead is Wade Hancock, looking for his fourth of the afternoon. And I reckon he's tugged at it. He's just put it to the near side. So minus score for the Roos. Would have been a huge goal, that one. 8-3-51 for Wentworth. 11-3-69 for Mildura. Coombie Club scoreboard. Only 9 minutes gone in this third term. For Colleen Tierney, First National Real Estate. Sunraysia Footy is on Hot FM in 2026. And you tried Michael Di Fabrizio and Ben Ridley bringing you the action.
And now look which team's key forward is being drawn all out the ground.
As Reynolds is a long way deep, so he goes looking further afield for Carter, who gets front position, spills it, has to rove his own ball back to Lee Howe. Lee Howe tightly amongst the boundary line was McDonald of Mildura. He kicks it further down. Campbell Davison beautifully picks it up, and with a nice steadying kick finds Andy Wall. Andy Wall plays on to the far side with Duck all by himself, but he's quickly met by Lando. So a handball forward. The ball goes out wide to Vandenberg. He's just dropped it at the most crucial of times and gets tackled as soon as he grabs it for the second time. And the umpire may look to call holding the ball, but he says no. So umpire Bruin's going to throw the ball up in the middle of the ground on the far side of the oval, just in front of our scoreboard that reads 18 points in front. Mildura against Wentworth here at BWO.
Nice tap down from Jensen, rode beautifully at the back there by Murdoch. Kicks down the line, looking for Cottrell on the lead off his ankles. Vandenberg, what a handball that is. There might be Brander at half forward, sits it up. Hancock keeps his feet, nearly one-handed. Jones, goal-saving tackle, but in the end it's going to be in the back. And it's just the strength of Hancock in the contest. It was too hard to handle. Missed a golden opportunity for a major before, but this time should make no mistake from the top of the square. Again, the youngster Vandenberg, a clever handball defab to get the ball moving forward.
Good awareness as Hancock makes no mistake with that one and gets the Roos their second of the term, and they lead the third quarter just after winning the second quarter.
A couple of crucial handballs forward, so out of the contest rather than retreating like Wentworth did in the first half, they're starting to find some space with the player running in front of the contest, and twice now they've found Brander by himself, and Brander going inside obviously to the top of the square, finding Hancock there. Really unlucky there by Jones because he did nothing wrong. He, as I said, he just unfortunately fell into the back at the most awkward of times.
Around the grounds for Fatty Boomba.
Yeah, we've got a 2-point game at Keddy Park. Irimple 7-5-47, Merbeen 7-3-45, so that's a close one. And Underball, it's Oden United leading 9-7-61 to 6-8-44, so a bit of a buffer there, and South Mildura still in control against Imps.
Back here at Brian Waitman Oval, it's 11-3-69 Mildura, Wentworth 9-3-57, and a free kick in the centre going the way of Blake McDonald.
He's starting to get himself into this game, Mitchie.
And long kick forward, Brander lost his footing over the back of the contest. Mildura have got the numbers here. It's going to be the youngster in Tyrrell. Left foot kick down the line, looking for his fellow second gamer in Fordham. Off hands though. Wentworth to scramble it forward again. They're getting some momentum going. Duck's done some good things in this term. Handball comes for the big man, Harry Howe. High up and under kick. It's a tough one to read. Vandenberg going with the flight, so is Lehu, and goes back and gets it again. Gee, kept his feet magnificently there, the Mildura defender. He's got time. Spears it down the line perfectly for Max Keel.
So Max Keel, he's on centre wing. He elects to go long, looking for his coach in Kerridge. Kerridge tries to get the back position. Scatting beats him this time to the front of the ball. Ball spills down. Scatting again, going for his second effort below his knees. But it spills back to Keel. Keel with a kick around the shoulder, inside 50. There's a couple of players going back now for Wentworth, and beautifully gathered by Campbell Davison, and he now switches to the other side, goes in board with a left foot, finds McKinnon. McKinnon has the ball smothered, going back to help him out was again Davison, but the ball spills into the hands now of Carter. Carter goes further back, and it's going to be a free kick to Mitchie Rogerson, who was disposed of after he got a quick handball out, Mitchie.
Yeah, advantage taken, and Dill Murphy's got it. About 70 metres from home, right half forward. Looking for a man out. McDonald's deep, decides to check it a little bit for the man on the lead, but no one there. Wall's got his name all over it. Kick into the centre of the ground is beautiful. Opens it up here for McDonald. Riddle said starting to really get his hands on the ball at the moment. Kick out wide, a beautiful lead from Brander. Got some space to work with. Cottrell's over the top. He just lobs it into his path, and he'll take the chest mark. Go back and take the set shot from about 40 metres out at right half forward. Campbell Davis now on his feet at boundary line level here, defab, but about 4 efforts in a row from the half back was brilliant to set this ball up.
That's it, and the chain of possessions with some of their key players, Wall, McDonald, Cottrell, Brander as well, so they're just moving it end to end a bit better now.
Jack Cottrell looking to bring it back to single digits, the margin. This would be a huge goal if he kicks it. It's across the face, only just scrapes through for a behind in the end. 9-4-58 Wentworth, 11 points behind Mildura, 11-3-69. The Kumiela Club scoreboard reads 14 minutes gone in this third term. Trying to stem the flow here, Mildura. Got options coming out of full back. But Wentworth set up well behind the footy. Had to go short, RJ Watson. Dominant first half, but one of his first touches, I reckon, for this third term here, Riddles.
He's been a little bit quiet, and again, he's just waiting to see anything appear. So he goes across the face of goal, looking for Grace. Grace has now the ball beaten to him as the ball spills in the hands of Carter. Carter has Harry L there to help him, and they're going to be really happy to see this ball up inside their attacking 50. And it's all the gut run coming from half-back at the moment that's seeing all of this space open up on the outside, as Carter could have been pushed in the back. The umpire says no. I think the umpire is going to ball it up in the exact same position, 50 metres out, attacking end for Wentworth. They're starting to control these contests a little bit more, Mitchie.
Jensen dumps it forward off hands. Great pick up at half forward here. I think it's the youngster Vandenberg again. Feeds it back for Cottrell, who sets it up towards the goal square. Brander's got to sit at the bottom of the pack as Tyres, who gets a little shoot to it. And at the goal square, it's Aaron Duck off the outside of the bootlaces, has put it through. And Wentworth, after weathering the storm of the opening half, have brought the margin back to just 5 points on the Kumiala Club scoreboard. The Demons 11-3-69, Wentworth 10-4-64. We've gone 15 and a half minutes gone in this third term, and DFAB, the momentum all with the visitors right now.
Absolutely, the intensity is lifted in this quarter, and with that the Roos have been the one that have been able to take advantage. It almost feels like there's about 20% extra players on the field this quarter with like the amount of one-on-one matchup you see whenever you look to where the footy is. It's a tough contested game.
As we see the ball come barging through the hands of Baird. Baird gives a quick handball off to Cottrell. Cottrell, he shrugs off a tackle at the top of the 50. He has to do it again. Oh, well done, Sachin Tyrrell. He went back in for a second bite of the cherry there against a much bigger opponent in Cottrell, who was steaming out of the centre. So he goes further wide, looking for Keel. Keel has a one-on-one, gets front position, a really strong grab there on the outer wing. He can play on with his right boot. Goes looking for, could be McDonald. McDonald one-on-one, tries to rove his own football, but immediately taken. And it's going to be a ball. Oh, no, it's a high kick. Oh, okay, so a high tackle at the top of the 50. And McDonald probably the recipient of something a little bit lucky there against Reece Much.
Zach Mack, what a season he had in 2025, playing wing and half forward. If ever his team needs a goal, it's probably now. It's going to sit to the top of the square. Grace, the big man at the back. Well done by Parker. Brown, check side was smothered. Humbles through the hands there of Watson as well, and the Wentworth defence scrambling, holding it together at the top of the square. 15 metres from home, directly in front for Mildura. Tap over the top, and it's going to be a clearance here from defence by Jack Cottrell. Awkward looking torpedo, but it might work. Jones off the bootlaces, and Wentworth have the numbers. Brander over that run provided by Tyler Tyres. Kick over the top is beautiful for Hancock. He wants someone to go. Streaming forward. Harry Howe, you've got McDonald over the other side as well. He's going to hold it up, and he's going to handball off to Brander, who goes back to Hancock. Left foot kick, heads to the forward pocket. They did it the wrong way, but Tyler Tyres in the right position. Again, they had the numbers, but DFAB, Hancock knew not to blaze away over the top, and they thought through it methodically.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the option. Was that his last kick? Yeah, it was to a 2-on-1, but in the end, off the side of the boot, waited perfectly for Tyres.
Tyler Tyres, chance to put Wentworth in front. One step. It's across the face, thumped across the line for a rush behind. 10-5-65 on Wentworth. Mildura 11-3-69. The Roos pulling out all the stops at the moment. Back to 4 points on that Kumiala Club scoreboard. 18 minutes gone in this third term. Fatty Boomba, we might go around the grounds, DFAB, and see if we can get some score updates. Some cracking contests around the grounds here today.
Yeah, 53 plays 52. Orintal just leading Merbead, and Owen United 11-7-73, leading Redcliffs 7-9-51. And it's a 5-goal lead to South Mildura against Imperials.
Really struggling to find their way through this web of players that Wentworth have set up. At the top of the defensive 50, young Anthony Fordham, he's holding the ball, but there is nothing for him going forward at the moment, so he's going to go further wide, and it's a risky kick, looking for Jones, who's impinged there, and it's going to be a free kick, and that's going to be against McDonald, but they're not giving an inch at the moment, the Roos. So Brodie Jones still in the defensive 50. He's going to go long down the line, just looking for anybody. The pack forms, falls in the hands, looking like it's going to be with Zach Mack from Mildura. Hurried kick around the corner from, it looks like RJ Watson, trying to just get any numbers moving forward. It's DeRosa going to the top, looking for Reynolds, going back with the fly. The strong was Andy Wall. But all eyes on the footy there from Reynolds, didn't deviate one bit, even with big Andy Wall coming back towards him. And he's going to be kicking a much needed shot on goal, 35 metres out, nearly directly in front. And it was just that little kick out of the contest. It was Sachin Tyrrell further down the ground there. So he's had some really important plays in the last 5 minutes, and it's going to set up their new recruit.
Knew the contact was coming, Satch and Tyrrell.
Reynolds comes in, slight angle, but just leans back, and I think he's done it. He has, so the D's get a response at a much-needed time.
Third goal of the day for Luke Reynolds puts that margin back out to 10 points on the Coomiella Club scoreboard. Bit of a steadier after Wentworth had gone on a real run. Tarrant Leo kicked the first goal of the third term, but then 4 in a row for Wentworth. That one stems the tide slightly. 12-3-75 for the Demons. 10-5-65 for Wentworth on that Coomiella Club scoreboard. Your third term for Pioneer forward Robin Vale on Hot FM. It's worth the drive. So we head back into Brian Waitman Oval, the centre. Tapped down by Jensen, but Gracie's opposing ruckman follows up, and here's the goal kicker Reynolds. Left foot kick is bullet-like. Finds a leading keel, 55 from home. Just pops it over the top here for Kerridge. He's happy just to hold up the play a little bit. Murdoch standing on the mark. Don't think he's confident, but he's going to pull the socks up and go back now. I think he wants someone short to run into the pocket. Now he's going to go back and just send it as far as he can towards the goals. Considering the momentum change of Wentworth, kicking 4 in a row DFAB, 2 in as many minutes here for the Demons would be huge.
Absolutely. Against sort of the run of the play, to get a response like that would be handy.
Sam Kerridge, he's got 3 for the day. She looks good off the boot. She's going to just fall short in the end. Gee, big attempt for Mark over the back from Reynolds. Spilled through Latore. Good clearing kick. Tyrrell couldn't quite hold the mark. What a pick-up from Mitch Davison. Dances his way through a would-be tackler. The pressure for the D's was great. Little kick is short for McDonald. He's got an option wide. Finds the youngster in Tyrrell. He's got one further down the line. High up and under. This fellow youngster Fordham takes it hard up on the left forward pocket boundary.
He's had a really good 5 minutes, young Saction Tyrrell, and it was just a nicely weighted kick. He didn't panic. Popped it up nicely there for Fordham to be able to just sit under it. He's going to be kicking right from the boundary. In fact, he's asking a couple of the spectators to get out of their seats. Not ideal. As he comes in very close to the man on the mark. He gives it everything he can, goes to the top of the square. Dane Grace from behind tries to mark the ball, spills down front and centre as the pack forms, but immediately tackled was young Elijah Brown. And they're holding on with their fingernails here at the moment, Wentworth, making sure that they don't get a late goal as Jensen taps it out far to Carter. Carter just tries to clear it out of the defensive 50 any way that he can. Harry Yao, he's got a couple of players to beat, and it's a 1-2 there by Saction Tyrrell as he looks to go inside 50 again. This time cut off. It looks like on the last line of defence here, is it Andy Wall, or it could be... No, Andy Wall's on this side of the ground. It's a bit hard to see.
What about Reece Much, actually?
Yeah, it was Reece Much.
So the short pass. Grills, overlap run here from Latore. It's been important.
Smart play.
Short for Mitch Davison.
He's getting himself into this third quarter very nicely.
Comes down the commentary flank. Hancock's the target. Just moved to the front position late, but hits the deck. So Jones, retreating handball. Rogerson finds Leho. And now forward for Nolan. Indecisive. Just got the kick away in time. Cottrell from the side couldn't quite pouch it. But now Tyres just goes inside 50. Well done there, going back to the flight off the mark to Rosa. It was touched.
Look at this, Tyrrell again.
He's got plenty of space to work with on the 11th Street flank. Taps to his own advantage. Got a lead on here from Keel. Gee, that's a strong mark. The pressure coming late from
some
March.
Really good strong marks in one-on-one contests today, Keel.
He's starting to really find his feet as a key forward. Into the centre square, Nolan pops it up for Mildura for Watson. He's got options down the line. Kerridge one-on-one. He had to sit the whole time. The body work was nice. And he's going to go back and take a shot. In fact, he has an option across the 50.
Oh, he's missed him.
Too much on it there for Keel. Parker just sockets it to his own advantage. Sweeping handball. The Roos for now out of trouble. Carter did well to knock it away from Tyrrell. Might have been a non-handball, but Wentworth get away with it. Parker long down the line. Harry's the target. He's going to just scramble on the boundary.
He's got him. He's a little toe poke forward, looking for Brander, who has to go down to ground level. Again, another toe poke there by Harry Yao. Gets it to the top of the 50. Mildura have numbers, but they're under pressure as the ball retreats to Lee Howe. Lee Howe goes further back to Murphy. Murphy has the ball smothered off the boot. One-on-one. Keeping his feet was Wade Hancock, trying to beat Brodie Jones. Has he impinged against him at the last second? He has. And Brodie Jones is going to get a free kick. As he was falling down at ground level, Wade Hancock tried to take Jones down with him. And deep in the back pocket, Brodie Jones is going to try and steady the ship here, Mitchie.
Could have really felt the pressure there, DFAB, but young Jones stood up well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hancock experienced on his feet there, but in the end gave away the freight.
Chance here for Wentworth to go back inside 50 again. Campbell Davison handball out to Cottrell. Awkward kick, but it may work to the fat side. Owl over the top. Tirudi well to get hands to it. Brander attacking the footy like a bull at a gate. Quick hands were good. Carter inside the forward 50. Going after, I think there's an elbow in the contest.
It was a great call, Mitchie. It was an elbow there late.
Yeah, Zach DeRosa just copped it coming through. Stood his ground nicely, and Lee Harrell will just try and swing the ball outside defence.
I'll be happy to see the three-quarter time siren, Mitchie.
Won't they ever? Wentworth came hard at them, but Mildura hang on for the time being, but there's still only 10 points in it. Mildura 12-3-75, leading Wentworth 10-5-65 on the Coomiella Club scoreboard. Third term on Hot FM footy. For Pioneer forward Robin Vale, we've got a clinker coming your way on the other side of this. The final term of your Hot FM match of the day is only just on the other side, so don't touch the radio dial. We're going to be bringing it to you live in about 5 minutes' time. Let's head back to the studio for some messages from our valued sponsors, and we'll be back here on your home of live local sport, Hot FM. Demons 12-3-75, Wentworth 10-5-65, 10 points the difference in the Coomiella Club scoreboard. We'll go to DFAB in a moment for some around the grounds for Fatty Boomba. What a performance it's been from both sides here today, and Wentworth holding firm under Mildura pressure. For the T's, 3 goals for Sam Kerridge, 3 for Luke Reynolds, singles for Max Keel, Sam Gosman, Elijah Brown, Tarrant Leahu, Will DeRosa and Anthony Fordham. And Leahu's goal to start that third quarter was a ripper from half-back. For the Roos, Wade Hancock's got 4, Jared Brander 3, singles for Harvey Vandenberg, for Reece Mudge and for Aaron Duck. Ben Ridley, Michael Di Fabrizio here to analyse the action in the third term. And DFAB, Wentworth looked like they had more of the momentum there, but a late goal for Mildura, which came through Reynolds, was very important.
Absolutely it was, but in terms of the overall picture, Wentworth have really seemed to have flipped the script from the first half. They did win the second term just in terms of 5 goals to 4, and then they won the third term by a goal, so they've just been eating away at that margin. But, you know, now it's all there to be won in the last quarter, isn't it?
Yeah, we finally got to see that real hard-running Wentworth team that we know. And much of the start of last season, that was missing, and then they really came home with a wet sail at the end of the year. And they'd lost that in the first half. But all of a sudden, across half-back, we started to see the likes of Campbell Davison, Mitch Davison really running the lines. But it was Jack Cottrell in the middle of the ground that really turned it on.
At the moment, looking the better side.
Thank you for that, DFAB. Final term about to get underway here on Hot FM. 10 points the margin in favour of Mildura. What can the Roos conjure up in this final term? Great handball from Elijah Brown to get the clearance for Mildura. Rogerson's kick down the line off the shins of Keel, who recovered well. Around the corner, big fly inside 50 came from Reynolds. Bounces away from Nolan. Cottrell gets back to help out his defence. Really working hard. Gets a tackle on Keel as well, but just slipped a little high. And the Mildura forward will just hold momentum for a minute. At 45 metres out, deep in the left forward pocket at the San Mateo Avenue end of BWO. He's going to take his time and go back and line up for the major.
He's had some crucial touches, Keel, at that sort of half-forward area, and has a chance now himself.
So lines up. Young forward. It's a bit narrow. It's going to stay that way. Just a minor score on the board. Could be important. In the next 25 minutes. 12-4-76 for the Demons. 10-5-65 Wentworth on the Coomiella Club scoreboard.
As Wentworth look to bring it back into play. Immediately playing on, going long to the commentary side. Duck one out against Carter. Bill spills over the back, running on toward his Cottrell, who's been huge in this second half. Going back to try and get the ball in the hands of Mildura is Maxi Keel, and again, just like the play earlier, he's just been taken high. So still way too far out to score. He's 70 metres out on the left half forward flank. He plays onto that right boot, goes deep inside 50, looking for a pack to form. The ball spills down front and centre. Players jump on it to no advantage of anyone. It could have been taken high with a free kick, I would think, going into the hands of Mildura.
A throw of the head back there. I feel like he knew that it might be coming, so perhaps the umpire
is giving a quick reenactment about what he did do.
Tap out from Jensen. It's going to be sharked here by Watson for Mildura. Off one step, top of the square. Big fly comes from Kerridge. Off hands is Brown with the check side. It's through the middle. Massages its way through the inside of the post. He's got his second, his first since the opening term. An important early blow there for the Demons to push the margin back out to 17 points in this final term on Hot FM. Important early goal there, Deep.
That is second check side.
Second check side. Very similar to that first goal.
To get the job done, isn't it? It's a good start to this term for the D's. They've got it forward a couple of times and now got their first goal on the board.
Yeah, Wentworth have got to be aware that these small crumbing forwards, especially the likes of Elijah Brown, you can't let them be one out, especially when they're getting under the nose of the big guys front and centre. So you're going to see a 17-point lead to Mildura early in the fourth term. Jensen loses this ruck contest down to RJ Watson. Watson gets the ball taken out of his hands. Quickly played on was Jensen, but the umpire's going to call it back to the centre of the ground. Grace just getting some nice position there and feeding it down, but some really good pressure there at ground level by the midfield, and especially Jack Baird here of Wentworth, who's going to be the recipient of the free kick.
I think he's been impressive in the in and under contest, Jack Baird. Not a lot of him, but happy to lay a tackle or two. Goes long just inside the 50. Brand of the target. Taps down to his own advantage. Carter at ground level is there. Handball works for Duck, who finds some space. Kick forward, well done by Grace. Mildura ruckman just getting back in and filling the hole in front of the key forwards. Little kick wasn't great, but Buchner will take the mark. Carter did everything he could, almost dislocated his shoulder trying to get the extra height, but Buchner takes it. Want to take one on the back of the scone there too, DFAB.
Yeah, might have just a little whiff.
Down the line. Duck gets it. Off hands. Davison had a pin to him. We'll get a stalemate right in front of our commentary
He's
position.
been good today, Mitchy Davison. So right-hand half forward attacking in for Wentworth. Ruck goes with Carter and Duck. Ball spills down to RJ Watson. Tries to get the ball off his feet. The umpire says he did do enough right in front of the Wentworth coaching staff, who vehemently disagreed with that call. But again, we're going to see a throw in, right half forward again. Duck this time front position, gets the ball down only as far as Watson, who punches it as far as he can forward. With a running play, gets it off to Reynolds. Reynolds has got Elijah Brown running inside 50. He goes long to the top of the square. It's one out, Kerridge and Scatting. And the ball is punched over the line. No, Scatting, he runs back to retrieve it. This time clearing out a defensive 50, looking for Parker, who could have been held in the marking contest. And the umpire says he has been.
Really well done by Scatting to keep his feet in the one-on-one contest. As a result, the Roos are out. Chip down centre wing on the 11th Street flank to Harry Au. 13-4-82 Mildura. Wentworth 10-5-65. Long to centre half forward. Jensen's the target. Grace again had it pinched from him by Brander. Tyres just pokes it over the top. Hancock, good spoil from Jones. Gets support from Zach DeRosa. His little kick, not great though. Mitch Davison at ground level. He wanted it in the back. Umpire didn't fall for the trap. Going to be a stalemate just outside the forward 50. 17 points the margin here for the Demons, but Wentworth's attacking end of the ground. Right of your radio dial.
We need some crummers here in the attacking 50 Wentworth, as we see Jensen try to tap the ball forward. Going to ground level was McDonald. He could have been pushed in the back, and he is going to get a free kick right at the top of the 50. We would still think that he's too far out to score.
He's got a good leg on him, but probably a little bit too much to bite off here.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Mitchie. He's going to be kicking from nearly 60 metres out, as we start to see the numbers flood back here for both sides. And again, looking for a crummer, as we'd expect the ball's going to go to the top of the 50 here. Lexton now goes short, and it's the wrong option, as we have Mildura find DeRosa ducking back there deep in the back pocket and taking an easy chest mark.
Blake McDonald been one of the better players for Wentworth in this second half, DFAB, but I think the Mildura defence just knew where he was going.
Yeah, McKinnon gave him a decent lead earlier, it looked like, but he turned that one down and then just probably made the wrong choice in the end.
Just playing by inches at the moment, this Mildura defence to hold possession. Grace has it. He's going to look down the line, come down the left back flank. Reynolds the target, Wall gets front position, couldn't quite hold it, but socketed it to his own advantage, keeps it in the field of play, the co-captain. He's tackled as he kicked, in fact he's been pushed as he's kicked. So the free kick going to go the way of Andy Wall against Walker, just inside 50, right up on the right boundary line.
Gee, I tell you what, you could throw a blanket over 36 blokes inside 50 here.
Brander, the target, over the back, almost pinched there by Duck. And there's a free kick, I think, that's going to be pulled out. And it's going to go the way of the Roos. In fact, I think he's paid the mark in the end. Trying to see who the final man who got the hands to it was. And it's going to be Blake McDonald, I think, who's going to take the shot from almost directly in front, slight angle, 25 metres
Just
out.
watching the replay here, Mitchie. And the pack's forming here as we see McDonald over the back. And you're absolutely right. He's actually just stood his ground. The pack fell in front of him and he's taken a mark on his chest behind about 8 players.
Like standing under a building demolition. I think they all just fell on him, but managed to hold his ground. Be a huge goal here for McDonald. He sprayed it right, but he's got it. It's just snuck it home. He's done enough to put it through the middle. His first goal of the day is the 11th for Wentworth. 11-5-71 for them. 11 points behind Mildura, 13-4-82 on the Kumiela Club scoreboard.
Yeah, very handy goal now there for the Roos, and just going to be an interesting next 10 minutes or so just to see if they can get the lead, because it's we've seen it in fourth quarters where if you've been behind for most of the day, it's just getting that one goal to put you ahead that's the hardest one to get.
Yeah, exactly right. As we start to see a bit of height coming out here on the wings, Aaron Duck and Jack Carter, who would traditionally be 2 ruckmen, they're playing on the wing position here on the commentary side, as we've just seen the orders being given to Duck to go and play as a loose man in defence. And it looks like Jack Carter's going to go and line up here on the wing as well. And he's going to be taking his position next to Jack Walker, and there's probably about 1 foot difference between those 2 players.
And another swap against.
Another swap.
Plenty of instructions coming from Benny McGlynn and Craig Davison on the bench there for Wentworth. Furiously trying to find the right matchups.
A bit like the Matildas coach at the World Cup with all the different arms waving everywhere.
Yeah, Joe Montemuro going through.
Gets the ball back as far as Duck. Duck gets a quick handball, looking for Jensen again with the 1-2. Clever little kick off the boot of DeRosa, but it's only, off the boot of McDonald. But hurries through inside 50, picking it up off the deck there was big Nick Jensen. And with a nice kick forward, finds Jared Brander one out in front of his direct opponent in Hurley.
It's perfect forward craft, isn't it, DFAB? Just with the ball that just pops into the forward 50, you play in front, you get the mark.
That's right, and there's been a few big pack mark situations in that quarter, but that was an opportunity for Brander to shine.
So Jared Brander got 3 goals to his name on the runway, just inside the 50 to bring it back to 5 points. There's a free kick.
It's missed it.
50 metres.
What has happened here?
So something behind the field of play. I'm wondering if some words were said, but the umpire is immediately waved down to the top of the square. So as Reynolds said, he did miss. Surely he won't miss this one. From the top of the goal square, back to 5 points on the scoreboard.
Well, Carmelo Lando's come off the ground. Now, I'm not pointing the finger at him, but usually when there's been a big decision like that, the player will elect to take themselves off the ground if they have said something or done something, but we haven't seen what it was behind the play. And that was an absolute let-off there for Brander, who pulled the kick, didn't even make the distance, and eventually was taken to the top of the square, and that brings us to within 5 points.
Less
What are
than
we, 10 minutes into the last term?
Yeah, less than a kick in it at the moment on the DFAB. I saw the Mildura midfielders go to RJ Watson. I'm wondering if there was something in there, but without having Johnny on the boundary to clarify for us, we can only speculate from up here. But either way, it's back to within 1 kick.
Absolutely, it's going to be a tight finish now. And particularly with if players like Branders are getting an invitation to get more involved like that, they're going to take it.
Mildura 13-4-82. Leading Wentworth 12-5-77. What a crack we've got for you here from Brian Waitman Oval. Beautiful sunshine bearing down as the clearance again goes forward for Wentworth and Mitch Davison. Oh, what a grab by Wade Hancock. Ground level, one-handed, goes inside 50. Brander's got space and takes the mark. Wade Hancock with something from nothing. Brandon chips in forward. The Mildura defence caught off guard, and Jordan McKinnon.
Look at him get around Hancock. What a grab.
From 15 metres out, slight angle to put Wentworth in front, but DFAB, I reckon the old sticky mitts have come out for Wade Hancock there. What a moment of magic.
Just stuck the wing out and tucked it under like a bird. As we see McKinnon come in, doesn't have a lot of distance to worry about, just about 20 metres out. And he sets it perfectly over the goal umpire's hat. So the Roos have taken advantage.
And they've taken the lead here at Brian Waitman Oval. 13-5-83. Mildura 13-4-82 on the Kumiala Club scoreboard. We said it from Mildura earlier, Reynolds, but now Wentworth have put it the other way. 2 goals in as many minutes can break the back.
Oh, and it's coming through the midfield as we saw Mitchie Davison with that very, very crucial clearance. But they've really gone strong into the midfield here with Nick Jensen, who's really stepped up here against Dane Grace. But you've also got Cottrell. We've spoken about Mitchie Davison and Blake McDonald. It is game on as we see big Jensen get the ball forward to Jack Cottrell. Cottrell with a hurried kick to the top, looking for a leading Brander. They're deep inside the attacking 50. A punch comes from behind. McKinnon immediately taken to the ground. But there's going to be another ball up, 35 metres out, directly in front of Wentworth's goal. Mitchie, it has been a huge turnaround here in the second half.
Slapped down out of the ruck here. Hancock trying to tap into his own advantage. Leaho's got front position. He's taken down, just gets a handball away to Carter. Deep in the pocket to the top of the square.
Wow.
And Brander had to sit. Nothing at all Ben Hurley could do about that. Clever kick from Jack Carter. And it's going to be 3 goals in as many minutes of game time for the Roos if he puts it through the middle. But again, the Midas touch of Wade Hancock with tapping the ball to advantage has worked perfectly for the Roos. Brander's got 4. This will make it 5 and a 7-point advantage seemingly from nowhere. He's only just got it through. Has given Roos fans a heart attack at ground level and going to celebrate anyway. 7-point advantage for Wentworth. 14-5-89. Mildura 13-4-82.
Yeah, it's just been a blitz, hasn't it? It's really been the clearances out of the middle that have been behind this last couple of minutes from Wentworth, and on top of some very nice forward craft with Hancock getting involved, and Brander using his body nicely there to take the mark. So just all the momentum with Wentworth. 7-point game. And it's also a 7-point game out at Kenny Park for Fatty Boomba, so close one there with the Pies leading.
So 14 minutes gone late in this 4th term. Nick Jensen takes it out of the contest. We're at the top of the 50, attacking end for Wentworth, trying to barge his way as Tarrant Lehow through the contest. He's immediately tackled, and the pressure has absolutely gone through the roof here for Wentworth around the contest. As we see the ball punch forward, running forward is young Vandenberg. Handballs back to Carter. Carter back to Duck. Duck around the corner looking for Brander. Can he get front position? He does. At the fall of the ball, McKinnon gives it back to Brander. He whirls around, tries to kick it over the shoulder. One out. Who should not have taken that mark against 2 players inside the square? And a little bit of magic again. The Les Innes medalist has taken 2 crucial slips catches, and this one the most crucial of them all, to extend their lead to 13 minutes midway through this 4th term. He's going to be kicking from the top of the square, and a little bit of magic here from Hancock, Mitchie.
The equivalent of hitting 6s to bring up your 50 and
It
your
is.
100. And it's through the middle and lets the Mildura defence know about it. 5 goals for Hancock as well today. And in the blink of an eye, Wentworth are out to a 13-point buffer in this final term here on Hot FM footy. Just the one major for Mildura. 5 on the board for Wentworth DFAB. What a blitz.
Absolutely, and that mark was just sensational. It was as he was being tackled to the ground as well, like the not just the 2-on-1, it was just...
He did the splits.
Everything
He did
was...
the splits.
He's like a magnet at the moment.
He is.
15-5-95, Wentworth leading Mildura 13-4-82. Tap down from Jensen. Rogerson with an important clearance. Kerridge now into the middle for Mildura. His handball was good for Zach DeRosa. Finds McDonald. He goes long inside 50. Keel on the lead. Got some separation. He's going to go back and take the set shot. 35 metres out, tight angle in the right forward pocket. No breeze to speak of, so a gettable chance here for the young forward. Gee, the pressure is ratcheting up here at Brian Waitman Oval. Had some good moments at the start of the 4th term, Riddles. The young man.
This is the biggest kick in his short career at the moment, as he tries to keep pace with this rampaging Wentworth side. Max Keel He lines up, gives it everything to catch. It doesn't seem to move. The players get around him, and that is a very mature kick from the young footballer in Max Keel. And it just steadies the ship here for the D's. And it gets them back within striking distance at the moment here late in the fourth quarter. And it's a very, very good kick there from the young fella.
You mentioned it before, DFAB, the accuracy of both teams at the moment. 15-5-95 for Wentworth, Mildura 14-4-88.
And Max Keel's been having a wonderful afternoon, doing lots of things in that forward 50, so deserved a nice, important fourth quarter goal.
Back into the centre, Jensen with the tap, off the hands of Cottrell. McDonald with a big tackle there on Brown.
They've stacked their midfields here, as you said. Kerridge for the first time goes into the middle. Nick Jensen has been absolutely Goliath here in the ruck.
And taps it down again. Chance here for McDonald, just gets a handball off. In fact, it is a throw. Free kick going to go the way of the D's. Lehu, who's had a good game today, has to get going quickly. He's got Kerridge short, half volley. He's got time to switch for Tyrrell, right in front of the Kumiela Club scoreboard. McDonald herring off on a lead down the ground. He didn't see him. Decides to go further for DeRosa. That's Zed DeRosa. Swings it wide. McDonald, 55 from home, sits it up. Reynolds at the back. Off hands. There is Gosman. Tapped to his own advantage. Man down at ground level is Keel from Mildura. Meanwhile, Much left foot kick gets the outside defensive 50, and what a grab. Aaron Ducks had some second half, DFAB.
Yeah, good work pushing up the ground there to get his mitts on that mark and just give the Roos a chance to reset.
18 minutes gone in the final term. Not much in this one. Kick down the line. Ow, quick hands were good. Clever tap into space. Umpire thinks it might be a hold back in the contest, and Cottrell again, who's
50.
Hands on top.
Wow.
Gee, you've got to be disciplined in this final quarter. Just didn't get the ball back to him in time, and Cottrell be a huge kick here.
If he kicks this is the second goal that's going to be from an ill-disciplined play. It's going to take him inside 50, as we saw Brander, the recipient of it earlier, and two crucial goals late in this last term.
Just 7 points the margin. We'll put it back out to 13 in favour of Wentworth for their opening win of 2026. Cottrell, cold-blooded, puts it through the middle, splits the uprights, 13-point advantage for the Roos, and what a second half it's been for them. DFAB, we might try and go around the grounds for Fatty Boombar and get some updates from other games. Wentworth move along now to 16-5-1-0-1, and Mildura 14-4-88.
Merbein 19 points up against Irupa at Jetty Park. It's 14-6-90 to 11-5-71. Owen United about 5 goals up over Redcliffs, and similarly South Mildura leading Imperials.
It's a change in the season. The Pies are winning, the Dogs are winning. This makes no sense to me at all. As we see, Big Nick Jensen taps the ball forward, looking for Cottrell at ground level. Jensen does it again, spins out. It's going to be a free kick going in the way of Mitchie Rogerson. He was being held without the ball, so in the middle of the ground, he's going to look to drive the D's forward. As we see the numbers streaming back for Wentworth, it's an average kick going forward. Trying to get front position with Zach McDonald. He's pushed out of the contest. Coming in to help is RJ Watson. Going back to Coach Kerry with the ball smothered off the boot. We're on the right half forward flank. Not inside the attacking 50 yet for the D's, as they will desperately try and get a score on the board.
Another big play from Duck there at pushing up the ground.
Absolutely, his kick smothered off the mark. Beautifully done. I think Wentworth had about 3 or 4 kicks smothered in the first quarter, but what a time to pull out a big 1%er from the big man.
Jensen again, front position, gets the ball down. Pack forms right at his feet, but he has been huge in this second half. He has single-handedly nearly dragged this team back on his shoulders, as well as Cottrell, who's been roving perfectly off him. So Cottrell, he is sitting in that spot directly under the nose of Jensen as he tries to get front position, gets the ball down only as far as RJ Watson. Ball smothered off the boot of Zachy McDonald, pushing inside the attacking 50. They're trying to do anything they can, the D's, to be able to hold the ball up as the pack forms 30 metres out directly in front. Holding the ball. He's holding the ball, and that's going to be a crucial call, as it's going to be a free kick here in the hands of Gossman, and a very, very much needed goal. What are we gone through? 20 minutes gone in this fourth quarter, 13 points behind Mitchie.
I think they called DFAB dragged in the contest.
Could well be, but yeah, 13 points. We're just working out if there's enough time.
Gosman has a shot at goal. It's across the face. Minor score. Time ticking away in this one. 14.5.89 for the Demons. Wentworth 16.5.101.
Probably be thinking about 5 minutes of extra time here with the goal scored. DFAB?
Yep, there's been a few. What have we had? 6 goals this quarter.
So a chance here for the Roos coming from defence. Long kick out, trying to gain some territory. Off hands. Mildura to go again inside 50. Nolan's little kick inside was clever for Kerridge. Sweeping handball for Buchner. He's got the switch on here for the youngster in Tyrrell. Can make his way towards the 50. Decides to just dab it inside. It had a little bit much on it for McDonald. Follows up well at ground level. Keeps his feet under pressure.
Oh, well done, McDonald.
Zachy Mack just keeps the attack going. Checks side from the pocket. Couldn't quite get there. Scatting. Tried to track it back over his head.
Tell you what, boys, Scatting in this second half has been fantastic. He had the job done on him by Kerridge in that first half, but they trusted him, they've kept him there, and he's been very, very big for them.
One of the big improved players, I reckon, in the comp in the last couple of years. Thrown in, left forward pocket from Mildura. Jensen by himself, tapped down. Carter did well to get away with it, but Kerridge around the corner. He's just tugged it too much. In fact, it's out on the full. And going to be a free kick going the way of Wentworth. 22 and a half minutes gone in this final term on Hot FM footy for Colleen Tierney, First National Real Estate. Wentworth 16.5.101. Mildura 14.5.89. So going to take some time off the clock here in field Wentworth.
There's been frantic pressure here by both sides in the attacking 50 as he goes long looking for Brander, and a great grab across the contest. Nolan gives a quick handball to a running Mitch Rogerson, who goes to the top of the square. Pack forms looking underneath dangerously as Elijah Brown slams over his shoulder. The team gets around him. A much needed goal to get them back within 1 goal. And it is game on here. That is 3 perfectly roving goals here by Elijah Brown. One here that is the most crucial of the lot of them. And it keeps them within 1 goal here, Mitchie. And I'll tell you what, we are up for a good last 5 minutes here. But Sam Kerridge, he's coming through trying to do everything he can to lift his side.
We're in for a treat, DFAB. 3 goals for Elijah Brown, 2 in this final term.
That's right, a couple of check sides on a snap, but he's doing it in all the exciting ways, and the draws on the table now with only a kick in.
I'd say that.
15.5.95 Mildura. Wentworth 16.5.101. Who can get the important clearance here? Stacks on the middle in the centre of the ground. Jensen doing his damnedest to keep it going. Smothered kick. Campbell Davison trying to get through. He's stymied. Still in the centre circle. Umpire Brewell says, give it to me.
Talk about pressure, boys. It is everywhere.
Absolutely on at the moment for everyone at ground level. Jensen shovel handball was good to Campbell Davison. Swings it forward. Big chance to mark here for Brander. Off hands. Lehu gets it, taken immediately to the ground. Over the shoulder from Baird. So Mildura can rebound and go again.
He's going to get his kick to
Duck. What a second half he's had. Handballs up to Brander. Running inside forward. Little chip. Looking for Hancock. He's handballed off. Tyrrell does well to bring it to ground level. The Mildura defence holding on for Grimlaw. Horse-coloured defence. And Mildura want to take it and go, but the umpire's going to bring it back.
Geez, Sachin Tyrrell, what a tough little man he is. He's the smallest and probably the youngest player out there. He's gone back to pick up his head and going to find the ball in a second.
Had to reattach to his neck, but not long to go.
He steps up, he gets the ball further afield, out wide as they elect to play on very quickly through Nolan. Nolan finds a player in Kerridge. So we're still at right half back. Kerridge, he goes long down the line, looking for a contest to form as the ball spills over the back, and a fantastic mark by Archie Latore.
He's had a good game today, Archie Latore, and read that perfectly at the back. 25 minutes gone in this final term. Can't be long left. Down the 11th Street flank, down the line. Could they get another big mark here? Off hands. Brander just gets a kick away. Now the D's at ground level through Watson. Handball up for Buchner. He has to go down the line.
Player down at half back from Mildura.
Thumped away there again by Latore. It's going to go across the boundary. Just trying to get a sense of who that is at ground level.
It was Kerridge. He was crunched in the contest there as the pack absolutely fell on top of him. They came in from all angles. So at right half forward, attacking in slightly from Mildura. Again, front position as Jensen gets the ball down only as far as a pack of 5. And it's frantic. Anyone who picks up the ball is immediately tackled. So we're about 75 metres out from home from Mildura, desperately needing to get a ball inside 50 here, Mitchie.
Absolutely being stymied everywhere at the moment. Barely any room to breathe for anyone out there at ground level.
26 minutes gone.
It's ticking away time. Umpire Brewell says again it's a stalemate. It's between Kerridge and Cottrell, 2 stars for their respective sides. Going to be thrown up again. 6 points the margin in favour of Wentworth. This will be a huge comeback victory for the Roos if they can hang on from here. Off hands, chance at the back of the pack. Wentworth's going to clear it forward. He's had a big second half. Soccer forward for the D's. Trying to find some space here. Handball at the back comes to Nolan. Kicks forward. Watch out Brown. Handball over the top. Tap forward there.
Scanning.
Couldn't find time. Scanning. Handball off. Rogerson inside 50. He's going to get a free.
Is this Kerridge?
Paid the mark. I think it's Luke Reynolds who's got it.
It is Reynolds.
The South Australian. Not wasting any time.
He knows the time is ticking down.
Right forward pocket for the South Australian. The big name recruit. He's got 3 to his name today. This would be a huge fourth. Left foot kick forward.
It's
Across the face.
Is it an important point though, Mitchie?
Could be a 7-point play.
5 points the difference. We are 27 minutes gone here in the fourth term at Brian Waven Oval, and what has been a cracking game coming through is Blaine Grills. He's going to try and clear it as far as he can as the pack forms here at high half forward. Pushed out of the contest was Brander. Ball spills back. Brander goes to ground, does what a big man shouldn't do and gets down on hands and knees. 60 metres out, attacking end from the Mildura home.
Only 2 players not in this forward half of the ground for the D's. Off hands, here's a chance for Gosman. Sends it towards the goal square. It just carried a little too far.
This is everything.
Out of bounds on the full in the end. Wentworth could take a breather here as they try to recover the footy.
Long down the line they need to go. As we can see on the commentary side, all the bigs for Wentworth are lining up. Brander's calling it down. He's asking Andy Wall, don't do anything silly, kick it down to me. They've got Cottrell, they've got Jensen, they've got Brander. They're all here at the contest. They're all flying at the contest. Coming from behind was Jensen. Ball spills down to Cottrell. Is it going to get pushed over the line? It is. Wentworth will be happy with this result. 65 metres out from the attacking goal of Mildura. Everything on the line here with a last thrust forward, Mitchie.
Can't be long left on this time clock now. Thrown in a half forward for Mildura. Through everybody. At the back is McDonald. Little shoe forward could be important. Brander gets a kind bounce. He's got some time. That is huge there. Kick down the line for Hancock. Off his knuckles and across the line in front of the interchange gates.
Gee, how good has he been one on one in the contest?
It's been paid as a deliberate against Hancock. So free kick going to RJ Watson. Mildura send it forward. Horrible looking kick. Edwards gets taken.
Holding the ball.
It's high pressure.
It is game on. Is it a good
Don't give away 50.
Don't give away.
And Keel's going to be the recipient. Youngsters, that's a great moment.
Yeah, very limpy.
Watson, he's going to send it forward towards the top of the 50. Who's got the chance here for Mildura? Over the back. Mitch Davison off hands. Brown goes to ground. Tyrrell's there as well. Quick handball. Rogerson. It's going to go around.
What is it by the legs?
Reynolds! Advantage! Mildura have hit the lead. Luke Reynolds got legged. He's put it through the middle. Had them behind before to equalise. And now has put Mildura in front by a solitary point.
Oh, boys, I tell you what, a deliberate call there.
That was
huge. Absolutely massive there. Against Wade Hancock, who really couldn't do much. It was a ball that just virtually came into his hands. And there's a free kick. And it's against
someone that said
it's against Wentworth. Oh, wow.
Grace has been told to play on now. He's just going to gain some territory here. 1 point margin in favour of Mildura.
My hat.
And the D's had the lead. Weathered the storm. Wentworth threw everything at them and Luke Reynolds, with 5 seconds of game time to go, kicked a huge goal. We've been treated to an absolute pearler here in round 3 of Sunraysia footy. Mildura somehow escaped 16-6, 102, defeating Wentworth 16-5, 101. DFAB, that was a game for the ages.
Absolutely. Take a breath. That was what a tight finish there.
Have a look at this Wentworth bench. They are standing there in absolute disbelief. They haven't moved. They are absolutely stunned by this.
What a result that was in the end. A controversial, deliberate out-of-bounds free call in front of us here with a minute to go, and Mildura have taken advantage of it. What a game, what a performance. We've been treated to a cracker. We're going to throw back to the studio here on Hot FM for some messages from our valued sponsors who've got their money's worth here today. We've finally been able to catch our breath up here at Brian Waitman over the Ray Hepworth Centre. It was an absolute hive of activity, so you can imagine what it was like at ground level. What a cracking contest it was in the end. Mildura hanging on for grim death, 16-6, 102, with a late goal from Luke Reynolds to put them back in front after a resurgent Wentworth hit the lead late in the fourth term, 16-5, 101. And some nice bit of symmetry as well between the A-grade netball and the senior football. The D's winning by 1 goal with the final shot of the game in that A-grade contest, and then winning with the final kick of the game at goal for this one as well. Still can't believe the call that was made there at the end from the boundary umpire, but we'll come to that in just a moment. I'll have a look through the goal kickers for today, and there were plenty of them for both sides. For the D's, Luke Reynolds, the key recruit from SA, finished with 4, including the vital match winner in the last dying seconds of the contest. Sam Kerridge finishing with 3, as did Elijah Brown. Max Keel had a couple to his name. Sam Gossman, Taryn Lehu, Will DeRosa, and Anthony Fordham, all with singles. For Wentworth, 5 apiece for Jared Brander and for Wade Hancock, who we thought had just produced some magic to win there at the end, but unfortunately for them it wasn't enough. Single goals as well for Harvey Vandenberg, for Reece Much, for Blake McDonald, Aaron Duck, and also for Jordan McKinnon. Mitch Rod, Michael Di Fabrizio and Ben Ridley here to wash up after that, and gee whiz, boys, we couldn't have asked for much better. DFAB, that was a heart stopper.
Oh, absolutely. We thought that, we'd get a good read on these two teams coming into today, but we didn't quite think that we'd get something that would go right down to the wire the last 5 seconds of the game like that. That was just sensational from start to finish. And lots of ebbs and flows. You weren't quite sure which way this one was going to go at any point, were you?
No, what a game. It was absolutely a cracking game. And as you said, from quarter time, it was just all guns blazing from both teams. And Wentworth, they looked like they were down and out, and you could see that Mildura were probably on the verge of just busting the gates open probably early in that second quarter, but to their credit, they come flying home, and we've got to see one of the best games we've probably called in the last couple of years. But as you said, plenty of controversy late in that fourth term, but taking nothing away from Mildura. They stuck in the contest. They made a couple of crucial moves, sending the coach, obviously Sam Kerridge, into the middle just for a bit of extra muscle, and some of their young kids standing up when they needed to most was very impressive.
My man behind us, Slammo, has just discussed off air, DFAB, and he's very much right, is that you let a team get 4 goals away from you in the first quarter, you've got to do all the work to catch up again. In the end, that was probably what made the difference.
And it is quite taxing, isn't it, to be trying to reel in a margin that large, 4 quarters of footy. It does wear you down in the end, it makes it very hard, particularly late in a game like that. And I don't know how many minutes we got up to at the end, but because there was 6 goals, it was a past 25-minute quarter, wasn't it?
It was about 28 minutes, I think it was in the end by the time the final siren went. So went for a lengthy amount of time in the wash-up, boys. Let's have a look at Mildura first. Riddles, some of your better players for the day.
Right, Tarrant Lehel was fantastic across half-back. He's really grown into that role, and you can just see the size of him. He's physically developing and had a fantastic game. Luke Reynolds up forward, as you said, crucial in the moments that mattered most. Had some really big efforts in that first quarter, but it was in the last quarter when he really stood up and played a little bit right across the ground. So he just really understood when he needed to go somewhere and just have an impact on the game. I thought that Mitchie Rogerson in his 100th game was also fantastic. He stood up and played a really strong captain's game, and I was really impressed. Young Sachin Tyrrell, especially in the second half, while he won't be in the in the major stats winners. When his time came, he stood up, he nearly had his head taken off, and I thought he did some really tough things as well, which I was really impressed with. Young Max Keel across half forward as well, another young player that stood up, took some really crucial grabs there and showed his size and strength. I think he's only 17 years old, and he played a fantastic game. And Sam Kerridge, obviously the coach, played predominantly up forward, but he was putting their defenders in all sorts, especially in that first half, and he was crucial because once he went into that midfield, just was able to bullock his way through and get some really good centre clearances that were very much needed.
I thought RJ Watson as well, we called quite a bit throughout the game for his efforts in the midfield and a bit around the ground, and certainly had a contribution. And then Nathan Nolan as well was playing on Jack Cottrell, so obviously had a bit of a defensive assignment to worry about, but did some damage the other way as well, so he had a good all-round game.
Absolutely. What about for the Roos DFAB? With plenty of contributors, especially in the second half. I mean, certainly the key forwards looked like they were just about ready to take the game their way. Yeah,
absolutely. Wade Hancock with the 5 goals and, as you called, Ben, a couple of slip catches.
Incredible.
Crucial moments too. That last quarter, we could just unpack that. Spend the next 20 minutes just unpacking each thing that happened, but he was crucial in that fourth quarter. Cottrell throughout the game obviously had a lot of attention, but played quite well. McDonald popped up quite a bit. Brander and Duck as well, to touch on the key forwards again. And Duck was useful pushing up the ground late as well and getting some key marks, and Smothers as well, and then Jensen in the ruck. Ben, I think you were big on that throughout the day about what he was able to do there.
Yeah, well, especially for such a veteran. I mean, it's just so taxing for a big player to be able to get around the ground, and essentially he played the majority of the game in the ruck today. Aaron Duck was sort of floating between both ends, and as you mentioned, was incredibly dynamic in that last quarter. I think he took 3 really big grabs that were much needed, but Nick Jensen, for mine, he was the one who just dragged them back single-handedly by getting those midfielders first use of the ball. But even when he wasn't able to get it nice and clean to the midfielders, he was down on hands and knees and doing everything he can. I reckon we saw probably even in that last quarter 3 or 4 snaps, just him getting up off the ground, snapping around, trying to move the ball forward.
I reckon the Davison brothers get a tick as well for their work off half-back and their ability to move the ball forward, and I reckon a tick as well for Jaron Scatting. Had a tough time against Sam Kerridge in the first half, but some of his goal-saving efforts in that second half meant that margin could have blown out to be for bigger than it was.
Yeah, there was a couple of really tricky one-on-ones where you'd probably back Kerridge in, and he got on top, and then when Kerridge was more in the midfield, he had another crucial play in the late stages too, so pretty important role that he played.
Riddles, I guess, from the respective coaching benches, what do you reckon the takeaways are going to be from today?
It's going to be really tough to be able to analyse the game as a loss for either side, to be honest. So Benny McGlynn was going to rue the first quarter. Obviously, they just got out of the blocks a little bit later, and the guys are going to be on the other side, the Ds. They're going to be really rapt about, obviously, them coming back again because, while they gave up that lead late in the last quarter, they didn't throw it away, and they made sure that they stayed in the contest. And again, Mark Elvey was making some really crucial moves there from the bench, so they weren't going to die wondering, and they weren't just going to say, well, let's just see what happens here and hope for the best. There were some really crucial moves made, and as we said, probably none more so than Sam Kerridge going in the middle. But yeah, Benny McGlynn, I think that's probably going to be the key thing. That's 2 weeks in a row now that they've let the lead go really early in the game, and they've probably had that first quarter that's really let them down, and they were just caught napping. They just seemed to be running on their heels in that first term, and then after that, once they started to get that run-in game, they really started to attack and look fantastic. But I think that's probably the main takeaway, is them looking at, okay, well, what happened at the start of the game for us to be able to come in and not play our brand of football? I mean, while there was really strong pressure that Mildura were putting on around the contest, Mildura were also able to get outside and be able to get that overlap run that you spoke about, Mitchie, and be able to use players really wide of the contest. And that's what Wentworth started to do really well, particularly in the second half. So if they can analyse what they did in the second half and try and emulate what's the slow start to be able to get that into their game earlier on, then they're going to be a very, very good side. But again, it was just, there was 5 things that could have happened in the last 1 minute that could have changed the result either way. So, there was nothing in isolation that cost them the game other than just jumping out of the blocks a little bit too slow.
I think a game like this, DFAB, all it says to us is that there's going to be a hell of a season ahead of us coming through here, and plenty of change on the horizon as well as we go for Fatty Boomba for the last time today to have a look around the grounds.
Yes, Merbean victorious, 14-8-92, defeating Irimple, 11-5-71 out at Kenny Park, so 21-point win to to go on the back of last week's drought-breaking win as well for the Pies. So they'll be very up and about. Over at Underball, Owen United 14-8-92 get their first win of the season, defeating Redcliffe's 9-10-64. And then it's at the MSP, it was South Mildura. They were 15-12-102, getting a handy win over Imperials 10-6-66.
The three bottom sides of last year, and they've come out on top, and not only come out on top, they've come out on top pretty well. Murbean would be absolutely pumping. Damien Hall, very, very big fan of him and his coaching methods. I think he's done a fantastic job out there. So it's not only them beating Oyen last week, but taking a monstrous scalp in Irimple, and Irimple obviously having their win last week against Wentworth. But South Mildura, 3 wins in a row. Slammer seems to think that it was probably 1998 since they had 3 in a row.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, when there was the interrupted season that got cancelled in 2021 under Ben Dalton, I think Murbean and South Mildura both came out of the blocks.
Oh, they did too.
And then they both won 6 in a row to start, and then had the draw in round 7 afterwards. But then, of course, the season sort of got derailed with COVID. But this is the most sign of life we've probably seen from both of these sides since then. And I think it's good for the competition to see a few more teams come up.
It is brilliant for the competition. And then Oyen getting over the top of Redcliffe. Obviously, Redcliffe were a top 5 finalist side from last year. So this is amazing. Not only are we seeing an influx of absolute stars coming into the competition, we got to see Reynolds today, which was awesome to see a player of his calibre stand up on the big stage at the most crucial moments. But I'll tell you what, as you said, the bottom sides that are coming through that are now filtering up and putting that pressure on the sides that have always had it their way for a long time, it's fantastic for the competition. Every week, every side has a chance, and every week, every supporter has a chance to be able to go out there and cheer their lungs off. And I'll tell you what, out at Murbean today, gee whiz, that would have been a sight.
Absolutely wonderful. I think it's nearly time for us to head home, and we're going to open up a couple of packets of lozenges, I think, to try and just recover after this one. Michael D. Fabrizio, love your work as always, mate.
Excellent call, Mitch, and Ben, well done. It was very gripping to be alongside you two as it was all playing out.
Riddles, absolute star, mate. Good stuff.
Mate, it was absolutely fantastic. Nearly as good as Sam Smythe's Tinder profile. If you haven't seen that, jump on board and check that out. Swipe right. But no, boys, fantastic call. Always a pleasure with you guys. And when you've got a game like this today, very easy to call.
Can't ask for much more than that. On behalf of Pat Silcox as well, this is Mitch Rod signing off for this afternoon. Don't forget to join us again at the same time next week. Anzac Day footy here from Brian Waitman Oval, where it is Mildura versus Imperials, the old rivals going at it. But final wrap-up of today's scorecard, it's 16-6-102 for Mildura, 16-5-101 for Wentworth. We're going to sign off now. We'll make sure you catch us again at the same time next week on your home of live local sport in Southern Asia. We are Hot FM.